What's going on, everybody? Steve here with Rake and Profit over at rakeandprofit.com, and we got my main man,
Roma the Roamer.
Welcome to the free 5-day book selling workshop. We are super excited about this training because we're gonna walk you through the process step by step of how to sell physical books just like this on Amazon FBA. So, Avery, you've been on Amazon for how many years now?
It's been about 5 years now, man.
And what are your sales over the last year selling books and all different types of random items on Amazon?
Actually, it was a rough year. I'm about $1 million in sales, but I probably sold $3.5 million in used books over the last 5 years.
Nice, nice. So over the last year, I've done about $480,000 selling books, board games, DVDs, videos. But you might be thinking,
Steve, Avery, why are we focused only on books?
Because we believe the best way to start selling on Amazon is selling books. So during this free 5-day book selling workshop, day number 1, which is today, we're really gonna just build your foundation. We're gonna talk about why you should sell physical books. Okay, we're gonna talk about, do you need an LLC? Do you need a business? How much money does it start? And we're gonna give you a bunch of really great tips to get started. Day number 2, we're gonna talk all about all the tools, right? How do you scan books? How do you print labels? How do you ship boxes? How do you go through the whole process? Like, what do you need for tools, right? What are the tools of the trade? Day number 3, we're gonna talk all about scanning. We're gonna talk about analyzing books. We're gonna talk about, how do you see a barcode just like this on a book, right? You know all about these barcodes, baby. And how do we know how much money it's worth?
And what if it doesn't have a barcode? What do you do then? We'll go over that too.
Yeah. We're also gonna hit up a thrift store. We're gonna hit up some libraries. We're gonna see where this free workshop takes us, but we're gonna literally teach you how to find physical, right? Physical books just like this and how to flip them for some crazy profits. Now, you know all about my mom, right? Mama Profit, right?
Yep.
She's
a hustler.
She's the hustle. She's like a book selling legend, right, in the community. I taught my mom how to sell books just like this about 9 years ago. She makes around $3,000 to $5,000 a month. And you know what? We're gonna talk about your mom too. She's been flipping books, right?
Yeah, you can talk about my mom, man.
Yeah. But your mom's been selling books for how long now?
She's been doing it for a little over a year, and so she has zero computer skills at all. So if my mom even gets a fraction of results, I mean, anybody can do this. No offense, Mom.
Yeah, exactly. So you don't need any crazy tech skills. You don't need tons of money. You don't need...
Especially with used books.
Yeah.
Like if you want to scale up in the Amazon game, there's other categories you can do that do take a little bit more like nuance and stuff, but used books are the best. You can throw them. You're only paying $1 or $2 to flip them for 20 plus. Like there's a lot of benefits to used books.
Exactly. So after we go through and we talk about how to get started, we talk about all the tools of the trade, scanning, analyzing, right? We talk about how to source items, how to find books, how to get books for free. And I'm not going to spoil it right now, but Avery has a crazy little trick up his sleeve, right? I'll tell you right now, man.
These sleeves ain't long, but there's some tricks up in there.
In day 5, this is probably like the most exciting part for both of us, is we're literally gonna take you into my computer, which isn't on right now. We're gonna teach you literally how to list books super fast, how to list books fast, how to print out the labels. I got a bunch of Amazon shipments behind me right now that are getting ready to go out. How to label everything, how to ship it to UPS, and how to just do this
How to
business
pack
from
a
home.
box properly. A lot of people don't pack boxes properly. We're gonna make sure you pack the box so your items don't get lost. All little tiny tips and tricks that I wish I would have known from day 1.
So we're pumped up. We're grateful for all of you. We're going to get started right now. We're gonna just break into the foundation. And it's really important to get your mind right, to get some of your, common, questions and, whatnot answered so we can get started. So with that being said, let's rock and roll and let's get into this free 5-day workshop.
Let's do it, baby.
All right, we are back with the 5-day book selling workshop. And so we're in day 1 right now. So what we want to do is we want to really just set the foundation. We want to share realistic expectations. We want to answer some common questions that we get all the time. I mean, we've helped hundreds of thousands of people to start selling books, on Amazon. I've taught my mom, you've taught your mom. We've helped hundreds and thousands of students to be able to do this. So let's get right into, what are the top reasons why, we love selling books? There's a lot of reasons why, and we're not here to say books are like the ultimate best item, like you should only sell books. We're not here to say that at all. But books are probably one of the best ways to start. So maybe you could share what's the number 1 reason why you feel people should start with books?
2 reasons I think starting out. Number one, you just need a smartphone. So we're actually gonna use our smartphone to look up the value of the books on Amazon. So starting out, I mean, if you're next level like Steve, you actually found that. I'm impressed.
Yeah, I did. I found it.
That allows you to scan faster. But starting out, all you need is a phone, and you can actually use your phone to scan barcodes. We'll talk a lot more about this later. And my second favorite reason is it's high return on investment. So this means, if you start out with just a couple $100, you can turn that couple $100 potentially into $1,000 plus if you choose your books correctly. So high return on investment makes it inherently a low risk business, and you already have a smartphone. You're probably watching this on a smartphone. Even if you're not super technologically advanced, your smartphone will do the thinking for you and tell you what books are good. And even if you purchase bad books, the ROI is so high across the board that you're going to make a profit, and that just doesn't exist with other Amazon businesses.
Yeah, and it's interesting, like, everybody's trying to chase, like, the hottest new product. Like, oh, if I want to make money on Amazon, I gotta be flipping, like, Sony freaking whatever, like iPhone,
Ordering
Samsung,
products from China, doing crazy stuff.
Alibaba.com. Like, I'm telling you right now, most of the things that you see on, like, Facebook ads and whatnot, like, I'm not saying they don't work, but these things are, like, they're just not realistic for the average person. It either takes, like, a year to make your first dollar, or it's just like you need to have like all this money or business skills. Like, the thing I love about books is most people think they're junk. Like, it's not like you're not going to be like, at your coffee shop and people are like, oh, you should be selling books on Amazon, because no one really knows about this. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not going to get rich selling books on Amazon.
Oh, you'll get rich selling books on Amazon.
But they're unsuspected. Like, you can literally go to a thrift store, buy these for $1, $2, $3, and sell them for 40, 50, 60, 70 bucks. Now, 90% of the books aren't going to be profitable. Maybe you can set that realistic expectation.
Yeah, maybe it's 99%, but who cares? If you scan 1,000 books and only 1% are good, then you can get 10 profitable books. And if those books net you $4 each, that's $40 profit in 1 hour. Maybe that's a bad hour. Maybe the next hour you get 10% profitable books. Okay, now you got 100 books to work with. A lot of people don't want to put the work in. If you put the work in this business, you're going to get massive results. There's nobody out there scanning 10 hours a day. And I guarantee you, in every medium to large size city, if you actually put the work in, put the time in, you can make easily, and I'm not joking, 100K plus profit a year. But there's very few people that want to do that. Maybe you don't want to do that, and that's okay. Maybe you just want to make a few $1,000s extra profit. That's fine. But just know, if you put the work in, if you get those scans up on your phone, there's a little scan tracker that we have on the app we recommend. If you make sure that you're scanning a couple hundred books a day, you are going to find profitable books, and we'll teach you exactly what to do with them once you find them. But it comes down to putting the work in first.
Yeah, exactly. And books are really, we'll talk about shipping as well. It's actually really, really cheap to ship books. I mean, honestly, shipping anything on Amazon's cheap, because Amazon has partnered up with UPS, so you get discounted carrier rates. And why don't you tell them, Avery, how much does it cost to ship out maybe a box of books that are like 40 pounds? Because you'd think like it would be like 20, 30, 40 bucks, right?
Yeah. Usually it comes out anywhere from $9 to $15, which comes out to about 20 to 40 cents per pound, which is extremely cheap. You are not going to get those rates at the post office. At the post office, you'll be paying $1 to $3 per pound. So it is really economical. We'll also teach you guys how to ship books directly to the customer. And this comes out to about $4 per book, which is still a pretty good rate. If you sell a book for 15 bucks, you'll get a $7 Amazon payout and then pay $4 for shipping. It depends on what model you want to pursue, but just know if you're doing FBA, which is really what we recommend, you're only paying like 20 to 40 cents per book.
Yeah, and it's good to talk about the differences of the ways that you could sell books or really sell any product on Amazon. So there's two different ways you can sell. One is FBA. This stands for Fulfillment by Amazon. So just like it sounds, it's fulfilled by Amazon. So think of it this way, and we'll walk you through this step by step. What we're gonna do is we're gonna find the good books, we're gonna price them, we're gonna slap a label on them, we're gonna put them all in a box. So maybe you get 40 books, you put them all in a box, you ship them to Amazon. You have to make sure it's less than 50 pounds, that box. And once it gets to Amazon, they're gonna store it at their warehouses. They have warehouses all over the place. And when it sells, they pick it, pack it, ship it, and you get paid. So that's method number one. And then there's merchant fulfilled. You want to tell them about that?
Yeah, so merchant fulfilled is probably the way you thought that you were going to sell books, but we actually don't recommend this starting out. You take the book, you list it, you put it on your shelf at home, and then the customer purchases the book from you, and you take it, put it in a poly bag, and ship it directly to the customer. This is a great way to make money too, but the problem with it is if you go on vacation, forget to turn your Amazon account off, Now you have to find out how to get the books to the customer. Whereas if you do FBA, you still own the books 100%, but they're at Amazon. So if the customer buys it from you, Amazon does all the work.
Yeah, and that's why FBA, like, it's not 100% passive income, but it is semi-passive just because you're able to put all the upfront work into, and I'll show you guys later. I've got like 6 boxes that are going out. I mean, I've got like $3,000 or $4,000 of profit going out of books and DVDs and board games and all different types of items. Again, why are we starting with books? Books are the easiest. They're cheap to purchase. Most people think they're junk. There's good profits, there's good ROIs. There's actually not a ton of restrictions when it comes to most books, unlike a lot of other products and whatnot. So let's talk a little bit about, Avery, let's tell folks about, like, how much money do you need to get started? I'm sure a lot of the folks who are watching this, they've never sold on Amazon. They're probably trying to figure out, like, is this even legit? Is this a scam? Like, can you actually make money doing it? Is it going to be like one of these freaking Alibaba drop shipping videos where they try to sell you on $100,000 automation and then you get in and you're like, what the heck did I get? Like, and our family does this. I've been doing this for almost a decade now.
His family motivated my family to do it. I was like, I don't know if my mom's capable of this or not. And then I saw your mom doing it. Your mom's older than mine. And I'm like, all right, let's get my mom to do this.
But it's hard work. Like, let's just be realistic. Like, if you're here and you're thinking like, oh, I'm trying to make some freaking millions of dollars, like not having to do anything, like, you're going to have to bust your butt. It's hard work. Anything worthwhile is hard work. So I just want to say that. But like, how much money realistically, someone who's brand new, maybe they're working a job, maybe they only have a couple $100s in their bank, maybe they don't, they just want to test it out. Like, is this something folks can do on a small budget?
Yeah, I mean, like, theoretically you can start for free. Like, if you're really bootstrapping it, you can get a bunch of books, ship them to Amazon, and Amazon sometimes has a program where they don't even charge you inbound shipping. My mom didn't get charged for a while. So that's something you can do. I mean, you could literally start, not joking, for free. If you pursue, we'll teach you guys how to get books for free. Every software we recommend has a free trial. You can print labels at the UPS store, at the FedEx store, at the library. I started this business, not a sob story, living out of my car. My goal was to travel the world.
You were homeless.
I was homeless. I was sleeping in Walmart parking lots, truck stops, and I was able to start this business off of like less than $1,000, and that's including like food and everything. So like, it really doesn't even count. If you want to start this business like the complete way we recommend, you'll probably spend $400 to $500.
Yeah.
On all supplies, your first $100, $200 in inventory, boxes.
$50 for a scanner.
Yeah, little things like that. So if you really want to optimize and go all in, $500. But if you're like, dude, I'm broke, all right, we'll teach you how to do that too. So not much.
Yeah, absolutely. You could definitely start on a budget. And when my mom first started, I mean, she did everything on a budget. Like, she had a free Amazon account, and that's a good thing to talk about. There's 2 different types of accounts you want to look at. Either a free Amazon account, which is called an individual plan, or a pro account. Now, in the past, I used to recommend the free account, but now Amazon, I don't know if they've changed a lot of rules, but I've really been studying this a lot. And from my understanding, and share your feedback, Avery, the free account, you're just not going to sell as many items. You're going to lose money over the long haul. You can't like get ungated, I think, or connect to third-party apps and stuff.
2 main problems with the free account, in my opinion. Number 1, every item you sell, you have to pay $1. So that's one reason.
That adds up.
And the second reason is all the softwares we talk about, you're not going to be able to use if you don't have a professional account. So these
the buy box too, right? Eligibility.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, you can't get buy box. So you're going to sell your items slower. You're not going to be able to find as many items because you won't be able to use the software we recommend. And then you'll pay extra per item. Yeah. So it really adds up.
One good thing to talk about too, and hopefully you guys don't mind us kind of freestyling, like going over the most common questions, because I mean, we've helped literally thousands of people over the years to be able to start doing this. Our families do it. We do it. We run these businesses. I mean, he's got $1 million business. I'm about half of that right over the last year. I'm trying to get to your level, man. But used or new books? That's a question I get all the time. Can you sell books as new? Can you sell them as used? Can you sell it both? And
great question. Generally, we're going to be selling used because we're going to thrift stores.
For books.
Yeah. We're going to libraries. And I mean, if you get your books from Barnes & Noble, that's a different story. If you buy them from Target.
If you have an invoice.
Yeah, if you have an invoice or receipt. Generally, we want to stay used because it's safer. And if you're not sure if it's used or new, it's usually better to go used. There are people at Skill who do sell books as new if it's in impeccable condition. We don't recommend that starting out because we don't want anyone coming to us saying,
hey, you recommended this in the course and you're selling X library books as brand new.
Yeah.
You know, but just know, like, if the book is in new condition, you can sell it as new, but play at your own risk there.
So another question we get all the time is, you know, Steve, Avery, can we start with, you know, just our name? Like, you know, my name's Steve Rakin. Can I just sign up under Steve Rakin? Can you sign up as, you know,
that's
Romer the Roamer on your Amazon account? And the truth is, yes, you can. Now, this isn't legal advice if you're trying to protect your assets, if you don't want to, you know, if someone trips over a box and, you know, they sue everybody and your name's included, like, obviously that's going to, you know, put you at risk a little bit. So you can start, from my understanding, from what I've learned, you can start with just your individual name. You don't have to go out and
you're a sole proprietor.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not a CPA, but like, I know people who have sold 300,000 plus, and they're a general theme with business people is they don't want to overspend money. So my friend Heidi actually was like doing 300K plus.
Yeah.
And she's like,
oh, she's crazy. Yeah.
I
love it.
I don't want to pay $500 a year in Massachusetts for an LLC.
Yeah.
The benefit of an LLC is, let's say you do get sued or whatever, which is very, very low chance in the book business, you do separate yourself from that. So if I start an LLC and I get sued, then they cannot come after me personally. So that's why it's called a limited liability corporation. So just know, like, once you start making money, you can set that up
down the road.
But starting out, focus on making a profit.
Yeah.
Like, don't go negative. Like, you're gonna buy supplies, software. Like, don't add insult to injury by paying $500 for an LLC and then quitting. Prove to yourself first that you're making a profit, and then potentially protect yourself by setting up an LLC.
Yeah, the big thing at this point now, hopefully, you know, folks are like, I want to start doing this. I want to start selling some books. But you're probably like, well, what tools do I use? What softwares? How do I scan? How do I analyze? How do I list? How do I ship? Don't worry, we got you covered in this workshop. But one thing I wanted to share, a free gift for everybody. So we put together a guide. Okay, it's free, and it'll walk you step by step signing up for your account, how to get your account set up, how to put in all the right answers. We walk you through it step by step. So make sure below this video somewhere, we'll give you that guide. You can download it. It's a free PDF. And at this point, I just want everybody right now to literally just commit and say, you know what? I'm going to sign up for this account. I'm going to get started. And this is day one. This is the foundation, okay? I'm telling you right now, you might be thinking like, why should I be doing this? I'm going to tell you why you should be doing it, because eventually what you're going to be able to do is literally open up your phone every single day, go into your Amazon seller app, okay? Go to your homepage. You're gonna be able to see, oh, wow, look at all these sales. So you're gonna be able to log in and see, you know, your sales right here over the last year. I've done 481,000. I've got a 6-figure income. I don't share this to impress you, but to impress upon you the fact that you could literally start doing this, send everything to Amazon, and it sells every single day. Yep. You log in, you see all your sales. It gives you the freedom, right? You don't have to have a boss. You can literally work from home. Is it easy? No. Is it simple? Yes. Is it going to take hard work? Freaking heck yeah, it is. There's no business where you're going to make a ton of money and it's just going to come. Like, there's a learning curve, but this is day one. This is the foundation. So commit right now. Sign up for your account. What else am I missing, man? What do folks got to do?
This is a gateway drug. You know, I've made 25.
We went there.
25,000 profit over the last 30 days doing wholesale on Amazon.
It took you years to get there. Let's be real.
Yeah.
It's not an overnight thing.
And you know, when I started selling books, I did 80,000 my first year. Probably made like $5 profit. After all was said and done. No, I made at least 15,
it was like
20,000.
$20.
Yeah. After all the McDonald's cost me living in my car. I looked at my expenses the first year, and like most of it was like food cost. But 80,000 my first year, and then I think I did like 300,000 or 400,000 my second, and then like $1 million a year after that. So if you truly commit and you truly try, this is going to open the door not only to selling books, but also to selling other products, potentially private label,
wholesale,
just reselling as a whole,
arbitrage,
eBay to Amazon.
Arbitrage,
like we could go on for days. So just prove to yourself you can make money flipping stuff on Amazon, and good things will happen.
So guess what, man? We're getting ready to go to day 2 soon. And do you know what we're doing in day 2, man?
What are we doing?
I've got all my handy dandy little notes here to make sure we cover everything, because we want to offer a lot of value to you guys. We're going to go through our top tools. We're going to go through our top supplies. We're going to share some of the softwares that we use. We'll be diving a lot deeper into that on day 5, because we're going to walk you through literally how to list, how to price, how to condition, how to find the items, how to list them, how to print labels, how to ship them, all of that. But we're going through the tools of the trade, man. We're gonna share printers. We're gonna share, obviously, the barcode scanners. We're gonna share the labels that we use, the different printers we use, the different softwares we use, all different types of accessories. So, and we're gonna break it all down and give you guys a beautiful free PDF so you can go and, check off one thing at a time. But you think folks are ready to rock and roll, man?
I'm ready to rock and roll. Let's do it.
All right, appreciate you guys. We'll see you for day number 2, going over the tools of the trade. Much love.
Peace out, guys.
All right, welcome back to the 5-day book selling workshop. We went over day 1, we covered a bunch of foundational information. Hopefully you signed up for an Amazon account. Do you think they signed up?
I think if at this video they probably did, but if you didn't,
just
go back to the other one and
because it's gonna take a Zoom bit of time too. We didn't mention, like, Amazon's you're gonna have to go through a verification process. So they're gonna send you like a postcard if they're still doing that now.
Yep, Zoom call, whatever, if you're lucky.
Zoom call.
You get a Zoom call.
And make sure you put in, I wanna mention this, make sure you put in your correct information, correct banking information, credit card, you put your real name in. Like, some people like spell their name wrong and they're like, this is a whole scam, it doesn't work.
They can put your freaking name in there. Like, they need to verify your identity. It's the largest marketplace in the world. So,
now that we got that out of the way, we're gonna take you on a journey of a book that we are gonna sell on Amazon. And throughout this journey, you're gonna be able to see the different tools, supplies, and software that we use, just a high level, because we're gonna dive way deeper later on. But if you've been wondering, like, how do you sell a book? Like, what are the tools and supplies? That's what we're gonna cover.
Exactly.
So how you feeling, man? You excited?
Feeling good. I'm ready for this. We're gonna take this book from determining whether or not it's profitable, and we're gonna show you exactly how to send it out to Amazon. We're not gonna go super in depth, but we're gonna take you through the journey of the book. So the first thing you're gonna need is Scout IQ. Use the link below. That's gonna give me and Steve some coffee money if you guys sign up with that. It's a 14-day free trial. So this app is going to look up the price on Amazon, and it turns green if it's profitable, it turns red if it's not.
And it makes a noise too if you have your sound on, right? Like, if it goes green, won't it go like ding?
Sounds like you're in Vegas, like at a slot machine. Like, this is why it's addicting to sell on Amazon, is because like you get so much reward on the front end. Let's go ahead and scan this. Boom, baby. $15 profit. Now this is after all Amazon fees. You can click here. See the referral fee is $4.38. That's Amazon taking their cut. Closing fee, $1.80. FBA fee, blah, blah, blah. So you can go there if you're really confused about the fees and see the breakdown. But this is going to give us $15 profit after we list it at $32.
Now let me stop you real quick. You scanned it with your phone. I thought that and I'm gonna kind of play like beginner here, because obviously I've been doing this for a while, but some folks are gonna be like,
what the heck? Like, what's this barcode scanner? Why'd you scan it with your phone?
Can you break this down?
Yeah, so if you see here, the phone actually can scan barcodes. So the phone has a camera, every phone does, and you can easily just scan barcodes just like this. Boom. But if you're a speed demon,
ding, I love that noise,
and you want to make a ton of profit, and you're at a place that has 10,000, 5,000 plus books, you can connect this Bluetooth scanner to your phone, which allows you, I was able to scan 1,000 books per hour back in the day. Yeah, which is like crazy fast. And so Mama Profit probably scans 100 books per hour, maybe if she's going fast. But Mama Profit knows the good sources, so she's able to get good places with like 10% acceptance rate. I was going to sources that were 1 to 5%. So I knew mathematically, if I could scan 1,000 books per hour, I could find anywhere from 10 to 50 books. So the name of the game is speed. So if you're really gonna commit, we do recommend the Not a New
And that's day 3. So in day 3, we're gonna go to my dining room. We're gonna stack up a bunch of books. We're gonna scan through everything, and we're gonna go step by step how to analyze and everything. Now, one thing I wanna share as well is you could also use the Amazon seller app as well to scan. So
show them the crazy technology.
So you could scan the barcode like that to look up the item, or you could scan the actual cover. Let me go back here.
Yeah, this is crazy, guys.
So you could scan the cover just like that, and it'll pull
I
up.
show people this at like Thanksgiving and Christmas, like in parties. Like you can scan the cover of the book and it finds the book. How crazy is that? As long as there's a unique artwork, it can pull it up.
So that's number 1, and I've got my, I like to stay organized here, so we've got our handy professional little checklist. So we've got the phone, We've got the barcode scanner in Scout IQ. Now this is a Natamu. We'll put links and everything down below for you guys to Scout IQ, the Natamu and everything. Now what's the next step? Let's continue taking this on the journey. So you've scanned it. You have now determined that you want to buy it. What if it has some issues and maybe it has some, you know, I don't know, some, I don't know, maybe it's dirty or some stickiness on there.
Yeah.
Usually
here's a sticker.
Yeah.
Pull that sticker off right there.
Yeah, so tell me what
personally,
to do. Tell me what to do.
My personality, I just send it in. But some people are like, I don't want bad reviews. I want to make sure the book's in perfect condition. I care about the book. I care about the customer, blah, blah, blah. I'm just like, I'll send it in, whatever.
Yeah.
But if you have stickers and you do want to make sure the customer's happy, which, you know, is a good thing to do, you can peel it off like this. The reason why I don't like doing this is because it leaves it all sticky, and see how hard that was for Steve? That's why I recommend using Goo Gone.
Yeah.
Goo Gone is, you can just spray it a little bit like that, and then you can also use Scotty peelers, all different types of tricks. Get up in there.
That's
like that.
such a good tool. Scotty peelers are like $9.
Yeah.
Now the problem is, like, some of these things will be on forever and it'll be hard to get off. Oh wow, that came off
Dude,
nice.
I'm a pro, bro. I've been doing this for a
man,
while.
that's nice.
There we go. And so yeah, you can do this. I think it's personally like a little overkill, but starting out, you know, you're a little paranoid. You might want to do it. So you can use Goo Gone for that.
And at the end of the day, you have to understand, you know, when it comes to books, like if you sell a book as good condition or very good, based on, you know, the terms of service and like Amazon's condition guidelines, it already has like some wear, it has some use. So like, it's not a big deal. Like there's some people too, and a lot of people ask like, do I need to polybag my books? You know, my mom does a lot of this, and I honestly don't think it's necessary, but some folks, they're concerned about the condition. You know, you can put it in a poly bag if you would like, just like this.
Now this, I will say this is important if you're ever selling a textbook with an access code. Sometimes they have a card that slides in. In that case, yeah, polybag is good. Other than that, I've sold thousands of books and I never do this.
Yeah, and you want to make sure if you're using a poly bag, it always has to have a suffocation warning on it. Sometimes, a lot of times what we'll do is I also have some stickers here, just like this, right? And you could, if you're just paranoid, you could just stick it on just like that. So
polybags are also good for loose leaf books. So if you have a loose leaf textbook, it's all over the place. Polybags are great for that. Or even small sets of books. So if you have 2 sets or 2 books for a set, you can actually use
good tip.
These right here, and you can put that on the outside, or use a small box to put the set of books in, and then put, this is one complete set, do not separate. That way Amazon knows not to open up your package.
What are your thoughts on using, because, you know, I see some folks using, this is Stretch Wrap. It's a little obviously messed up now, but it's off. So what are your thoughts, stretch wrapping a book versus using a poly bag?
I do both, whatever's available. I only use it for like loose leaf books or for sets of books, but this is really good for sets too. Like let's say you have a Harry Potter set. Harry Potter sets are profitable if you can get them at good prices. Wrap them up with this, either one.
All right, so we talked about kind of cleaning, prepping. We'll dive definitely more into conditioning books when we're analyzing and whatnot, and we'll share with you all of our condition guidelines, condition scripts, 100% free. So what's the next step? I'm gonna sit down and get prepared for, there's our barcode scanner. I want you to continue walking us through this process, and I'm gonna have a sip of coffee here and try not to knock it over.
So now what we're gonna do is take this book. You have to cover up the barcode with what's called an FNSKU label. An FNSKU label is Amazon's label they give you that you put on the book. You want to show them, print one out real quick?
Yeah, Zach, you want to come around real quick and do you want to explain like where we are? Because how people always ask like, how do you get this label? What's the label for? Like, how do you, you know?
Yep.
Why are we? What is this barcode? Like, kind of break it down.
So first of all, we use a Rollo printer. This is a thermal printer that is going to not use any ink at all, and it's just going to etch the barcode onto the label. You can get UPS labels for free from ups.com. All you need to do is set up a business account. So you never have to pay for ink at all.
I paid for these.
Yeah, it's a little difficult, but if you set up a UPS account, I promise, just call their 1-800 number. You'll get free labels for life. There's also these labels here. These are the book labels. We'll link below the cheapest labels you can get. But we like Rollo because we can print not only shipping labels for the boxes of books, but also the book labels themselves. And what we're about to show you is a software that allows you to scan the book, print the effing SKU directly from Amazon. That effing SKU is going to let Amazon know, hey, this is Ann's book or this is Steve's book. So when they receive your inventory, they're not gonna scan the barcode of this, they're gonna scan the new barcode that you put on it that's unique to your Amazon account. And we'll show you exactly how to do that right now.
Yeah, it's super duper important. And I do wanna mention as well, I know I'm obviously looking at the computer, you can do all of this for free with Amazon Seller Central. But even if you're on a budget, this is a big but, okay? Amazon Seller Central it's the slowest, most inefficient way to price your items, to list your items, to label your items. They're gonna ask you a million questions. You're gonna sell a book and they're gonna ask, is it an explosive? No, Amazon, my book's not an explosive, okay? You know what I'm talking about, right? Does it have batteries? No, it doesn't have batteries, Amazon. Speed is the name of the game, okay? So this is a software that I use, and Zach's our cameraman, by the way. Big shout out to Zach. Woo! This is my go-to lister account, okay? So I highly recommend, we'll put a link down below, get yourself a free trial. What is it, 14 days, Avery?
Yeah, 14-day free trial.
Get yourself a free 14-day trial. Trust me, this is so fast. It's the best. So,
and by the way, this is my software, full disclosure. So I made this for a reason. I was selling books years ago and I was tired of how slow I was using the competition software, and it was really slow. So this really allows you to list like 100 plus books per hour.
So you can see right here, I've got my numbers broken down over the last 30 days. So I've sold 46,669. It was over 50, it goes up and down. I've sold 761 units. My average selling price is $61.33. That's the power of selling books, DVDs, all different types of items. You can see my sales, units sold and whatnot. So what I'm gonna do right here, we're gonna walk you guys through this process. What I'm gonna do is I am going to go under my history because I already had a batch right here. So I'm gonna go under test batch. This is pretty much my shipment that I'm gonna send out. And what you can do right here is what you wanna do. I have my program to scan like USPS labels because I do a lot of eBay to Amazon flipping. So I'm not gonna be able to scan this in, but you could, you know, with just a normal barcode scanner, you could just scan this right in and it would list easily. For this example, what I'm going to do, and maybe, you know, Zach, you could show the screen really quick. I just put in the ASIN for this item. I picked one for quantity. I put thrift store, buy cost, $2 on this item. And check this out. Once I hit search, it's literally going to list this item. It's gonna price it. It's gonna do everything for me, which is absolutely fantastic. And look at, did you see that? Oh, Zach, I think you missed it. Let me print it one more time, okay? So I'm gonna print out another label. Oh, baby. Came right out like that. Talk to him, Avery. What do we got here? Show him how to label this thing.
So now what we do is we take this label. We wanna cover up any existing label because remember, Amazon's $15 per hour employees are gonna start opening those boxes and scanning like madmen. So make sure that the barcode they scan, the only possible barcode is your barcode. So see how I covered up this barcode here? If they scan that, that's bad news. That's money out of your bank account. They might misplace it, but if I put here, they scan it, they 100% know. Dorothy's book is at the Amazon warehouse. You'll get a notification on your phone that they received your book, and then what they'll do is they'll put it on the shelf and they'll store it so when the customer purchases it from you, they can prep, pack, and ship it directly to the customer. But before we do that, we got to put it in a box to ship it to Amazon first.
Let's get a box together, man. Show us how it's done. Let's, here, let me clear some space for you.
So I recommend using small Lowe's boxes or small to medium size, generally small Home Depot boxes, or even extra small Home Depot boxes. And what we're gonna do, because you don't want to overfill the box. If you get a large size box for books or a medium sized box, way too big. 12 by 16 by 12 is about the perfect size for a box of books. So what we're gonna do, let's fold this down.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, watch this. Watch a pro in action. Oh yeah.
There we go. 2. You wanna know a pro tip?
Yes, sir.
I'll show you. Give me the tape gun, I'll show how to work the magic. So if you're living in a state, anywhere on the East Coast at all, if you're out West, you're probably safe. But actually you can waterproof this and protect your books from getting water damage. I used to, when I started, man, you know me, I don't care about little things like that.
Yeah.
But dude, I've been running a business where people ship me books. You will not believe the quality of books that they come in after UPS or USPS handles the boxes. It's terrible. So what you can do, and it's not really their fault, there's weather that exists, you know, it rains, it snows, whatever. You can cover that up. I would actually make it a little bit longer. And then now I'm actually waterproofing the whole box. So do that on each side. I promise you, this will help out long term. It's well worth the investment. Boom, baby.
I use a ton of tape. So people always, it's funny in my YouTube videos, people are like, you're using so much tape. I got $500 profit in here. You don't think I'm gonna spend 50 cents?
Exactly.
And I always like to tape off, like if you use these Home Depot, Lowe's boxes,
Yep.
I like to always tape over this little insert
You have
here.
no idea what the journey of this box is gonna be. The employees are gonna be throwing it around. It's gonna be going all over the place. So make sure definitely over taped and under taped.
Yeah, so when you're selling books, like usually it's like 20 or 30 books you could put in a box. It depends if it's like textbooks or like little ones or whatnot. But I don't buy like the extra expensive like double corrugate, whatever it is. Like, you know how there's like the heavy duty ones? I don't use the heavy duty ones. These are just the regular ones right here. And I buy these off Lowe's.com.
Yeah.
There may be some cheaper options, but they just get shipped right to my house. Behind me, Zach, if you want to show, I've got the bigger boxes. That's really good for like board games and bigger electronics and items that aren't as like dense.
If you are shipping textbooks, I'm gonna play devil's advocate here. I actually do recommend the heavy duty boxes. We see different sides of things. Steve only sees shipping out. I run a book business where we receive a lot. And dude, these little thin boxes with textbooks on the corners, I promise you, like it's actually insane. Like they,
Really?
a lot of times, yeah. Like, so my partner at restrictedinventory.com, he was like, dude, all these, like you don't run a pack boxes. And I'm like, dude, these are coming from all over the country. All these people are sending us books and the corner of these books are like digging into the box. And I'm getting big textbooks shipped to me. But yeah, dude, it's a big problem.
But is it because, and let me ask you a question here. Is there a specific way to put the books in the box?
Yeah.
Like, how do you want to put the books in the box?
So what you want to do is you want to make sure the pages are facing inwards, especially
gotcha.
with paperback. Obviously, put the bigger books in first. You don't want to do it this way, but think about it. Like a big textbook that's hardback is going to be digging in the corner. So if you're shipping big books, I actually do recommend getting the heavy duty boxes.
I've never used them.
Yeah, man, I'm telling you, it's worth the investment if you're shipping big textbooks. If all your books look like this and they're smaller paperback, you're probably safe.
But what if you use some of like, I get tons of void fill and different things in the mail. What if you kind of put it around the perimeter? Would that help a little bit?
It definitely helps mitigate the risk. You don't ever want to ship books. See all this space here? You don't want it to be moving around. So we'll stack this up and we'll probably have a more in-depth video on how to pack a box later. Yeah, so for now, just watch the video later. We'll show you how to really get into nooks and crannies, but you don't want space. You don't want these books moving around. Books moving around, you're gonna tear the boxes open.
Worst thing you can do.
And let me tell you this, like a lot of people in the Facebook groups, hopefully you're in the Facebook groups asking questions, learning, but the people say,
Amazon lost my inventory. Amazon, isn't paying me for my books.
guys, Amazon didn't lose your inventory. You don't know how to pack a box. You shipped your inventory there and all the books fell out on the way. The UPS driver picked up your box, all the books fell out. He's in a rush. He's putting half of them back in and then Amazon only received half your inventory.
Yeah.
Amazon didn't lose it,
Yeah.
Amazon does lose your stuff sometimes, but a lot of times I think people actually don't know how to pack a box. So it's very important.
So let's share the last part of this process. So we obviously talked about scanning, we talked about cleaning, polybagging if you need to. We talked about the boxes. You educated me on the importance of having the heavy duty, which
If you have big hardback books, any books,
especially like the really heavy ones.
Yeah.
Some of the books are like 8-9 pounds, like some of these like anatomy physiology books. So we talked about that. We talked about labeling. We're gonna cover this all in day 5, like step by step.
Yep.
But let's share with them, how do you weigh it out? Like, what do you, like, you want to share the process? Maybe bring them.
I just like to feel it and I guess the weight. No, I'm just kidding.
I can bring it over here and get some light in here. Sorry, Zach. So this is kind of a cool scale. This was like $50. I like it because it has a nice large foundation. Some of the other ones are like kind of small, but yeah, you can do your thing. Right
Do you have
now.
a link to that scale below?
Oh, my battery's dead, so it might not be very, let's see if it goes on. Yes.
Boom,
yeah, I'll
baby.
put a link down below for you guys. I'll share a couple options.
I really like this scale in any type of scale like this. So we'll link one below where you can see the weight as you fill up the box. So I recommend going to about 40, 45 pounds. If you go over 45 pounds, it's off, it's fine. So as you fill it up, the weight of the box goes up. And that way, as you're listing books, you can put books in the box and see how much the box weighs. If you get too close to 50 pounds, the problem with that is Amazon will charge you overweight fees.
Ugh.
So even if your scale, Steve's perfect scale he's recommending says 48 pounds, there's a chance Amazon's scale says 52 or 51 or 50.1. And what they're gonna do is they're gonna charge you 50 bucks the first time, 150 the next, or they might slap you on the wrist the first time, but they will charge you overweight fees. And the bigger risk actually is if you fill a box too heavy, they'll actually get lost in the mail. Back to the first problem. So like smaller boxes are generally the best. The sweet spot's anywhere from 35 to 45 pounds. That way you're optimizing your inbound shipping. You're only paying about 20 to 40 cents a pound, which is really good rates. And if you go below 20 pounds, you're gonna be paying several dollars per pound. That's not worth it. And you're making sure your merchandise is protected and the books aren't gonna break the box when they get to Amazon.
So that's pretty much it. There is one last thing I wanna cover because some folks might be like, Steve, Avery, I don't have 200 bucks to buy a Rollo printer, which is completely fine. I'm gonna come around over here, Zach. So for folks who just have like an inkjet printer or a laser printer, I highly recommend you can use any printer you have. So if you just have like an HP inkjet or maybe you have a laser printer, you can use this to actually print out the effing SKUs. Remember the little tiny labels to put over the barcode? But what you're gonna need to do is get what's known as 30 up labels. We'll put a picture on the screen. Go to Amazon, just type in Amazon 30 up labels. It's essentially just a piece of paper with 30 labels on it. The downside is it's slower, like you can't just like label as you go.
And you don't need a special printer for this. I used to think you did. I actually went to my college library and I was like, oh, I need a special inkjet printer, thermal printer. And I felt like an idiot 3 years later when I found out it works on every single printer.
Every single printer.
So starting out, if you're on a budget, do that. But just know, over the long run, that's actually way more expensive because you have to pay for ink, you have to pay for the labels. But for this, remember, you can get like several years worth of labels for like 30 bucks or something. Like it's crazy cheap. And you get UPS labels free for life and you never have to pay for ink. One ink cartridge is like what? 80 bucks, 100 bucks?
Yeah, that's why laser printer's the way to go. It's so much cheaper, just toner. So that is day number 2. We talked about the tools of the trade. We talked about some supplies, accessories. We shared a little brief overview of GoToLister. Don't worry, we're gonna be really diving deep. Day number 3, we're gonna be literally just scanning a bunch of books, analyzing. We're gonna probably have a screen share going on the phone so we can walk you through like what is the buy box. Like if you don't know what the buy box is, you'll learn about that, how to scan, how to analyze, how to know like, should I price it here? What if the price is gonna tank? Like how to be looking at like different analytics and whatnot. This is the most important part right here. So, all right, so we're getting ready to go to day 3. What do you think a good action step is right now before we move on?
Go get your tools, get ready, get your tape ready. If you want speed, get this. Go get all the supplies we recommend below if you're really serious about this.
Absolutely, and wait to get your account verified. Make sure you did that. Check out our free information down below. Get a free 14-day trial to GoToLister, and let's rock and roll.
Let's rock and roll, baby.
Here we go. What's going on, everybody? Steve here with Rake and Profit over at rakeandprofit.com, joined with my main man,
Romer the Romer.
And welcome to day number 3. You made it. Hopefully, you got through day 1 and they signed up for their account, right?
Yep.
If they didn't, what do they have to do right now?
You gotta go back and sign up for your account.
Go sign up for your Amazon Seller Central account. We shared with you, the free guide to be able to do that. In day number 2, we walked you through the process of all the different tools and supplies that you're gonna need to be able to sell books on Amazon. So we literally shared with you our printers, we shared with you, the Goo-Gone, we shared with you the barcode scanner, which we're gonna be going deep into, the labels, GoToLister, oh, he's got it, he's rocking it. And remember guys, if you haven't gotten your free 14-day trial to GoToLister, start using it. I'm telling you right now, yes, you can use Amazon Seller Central for free, but it's slow as a son of a gun. And I can promise you, you're not gonna enjoy selling books and you're not gonna scale your business if you don't have a fast way to be able to list, process, and ship books, okay? So the plan for today, I'm excited. This is gonna be a fun one. So what we're gonna be discussing today, as you can see, we've got a bunch of books on the dining room table. We've got our coffee, cheers, day number 3.
Coffee number 6.
Yep, coffee number 6. Hopefully everybody's enjoying their day. We're gonna cover how to set up your barcode scanner, okay?
That's the hardest part of this whole business.
Yeah,
Getting that barcode scanner
getting that barcode scanner set up. We're going to discuss how to analyze books using Scout IQ, which is our software that we're using, how to analyze deals. We're going to talk about some beginner pricing, tips and strategies. We're going to discuss, what is the buy box and how to determine what the price should be. We're going to discuss what's sales rank. We're going to discuss what's eScore. And I know some of you guys are probably thinking, what in the world is he talking about? eScore? What are we playing, a basketball game? We keeping score? No, this actually keeps track of how fast your items are going to sell, okay? We're also going to discuss offer count and how that's really important and relevant to the discussion of what you should price items at, if it has a good chance of price tanking. We're going to discuss the difference between, and there's my barcode scanner. That's your sign. You better sign up for an Amazon account. We're going to talk a little bit about mistakes and, just some of the things that you should avoid doing when you're analyzing books. So this is going to be, a pretty in-depth tutorial. So Avery, do you want to, we are screen sharing my phone, so they should be able to see the phone right now. So editor, let's put the screen in the corner so everybody can see. But let's go ahead and discuss first and foremost, how does the Natamu link up with the phone, if you want to share?
That's the hardest part, man. So what you want to do, you want me to show like the settings and stuff?
You don't have to go too in depth. Just share, you have to turn Bluetooth on, whatever you want.
I'm gonna do it.
Let's do it.
So what you're gonna do is you'll click this blue button here, and it'll actually start blinking if you've never set it up before. And then go to Bluetooth on your phone here. If you're Android, same process. And you should see it come up as, what does this come up as on your phone? Scanner 8216. So it's gonna be scanner something on your phone. Click on that device, it's gonna connect. If you have issues, go to our Facebook community, go to Steve's Facebook community. Go to any Facebook community and say, hey, I'm having trouble connecting my scanner. People help you out, but it should be a really simple process. That should get you set up. Once you connect this, your phone thinks that this is a keyboard. Your phone believes
that's the annoying part.
Yeah, it's an annoying part. And here's a pro tip: if you double tap this, it'll temporarily disconnect it. So if you ever want to send a text message to a loved one, you won't be able to as long as this is connected. So double tap this, and that's a pro tip. Anyway, so now this is connected, and so everything I scan is going to feed into the phone. So it doesn't matter if I'm in my Gmail app, my Notes app, a text message, or Scout IQ. This is going to input whatever I scan into there. So make sure you got Scout IQ open, because the whole purpose is to scan books. And now what we're going to do is we're going to scan this barcode. Boom, like that. It's going to throw it in here, and it's going to come out with the price. Remember, alternatively, you can use the camera of the phone to scan here. This is a great way to start out. But if you care about speed and you want to really, go through books fast, especially, I'm going to show you guys a method in a second. When you have books on a shelf, you should be able to scan 500 to 1,000 books per hour. And remember, even if only 1% of the books are good, that's 5 to 10 books every hour. Is that right? 500 to 1,000? 5 to 10 books?
It's a lot of books, baby.
Yeah, 10 books per hour at $4 to $10 profit. Obviously, you're making close to $100 profit per hour. So, but we'll teach you techniques on how to get more profitable books per hour. 5-10% profit if you really select your sources correctly. So,
and could I jump in and mention one thing? Now, this is a little, I guess it's somewhat high level. There's one thing to consider when it comes to using Scout IQ. There are also other apps as well. There's an app called Scoutly that folks use as well. It's a little less inexpensive, but I've been using Scout IQ my whole life. I love Scout IQ. It's my favorite. Are you using Scout IQ?
Yeah, Scout IQ all day. Scout IQ for life, baby.
Exactly. And I use Scout IQ with the Amazon seller app, so they're two different apps. So just to be clear, GoToLister has nothing to do with Scout IQ. Scout IQ has nothing to do with Amazon. Now, obviously, your Amazon account integrates with all of them, but just know these are different apps with different goals.
Yeah.
But one thing to keep in mind is, you see how it's saying green? Can you scan another item for us?
Yep.
Let's see what it says. So this is actually giving us red right here. And the reason is because based on the price that we're going to sell the item for, and we'll talk a lot more about this, it thinks we're only going to sell it for $10.41. So after fees and everything, we're only going to make 36 cents profit. So the point I wanted to make, and this is one thing I wanted to share with folks, and we'll share with you guys some resources for you to learn more about this, but talk about custom triggers and how this knows what's good, what's bad.
Yeah, so there's two things that matter when selling on Amazon, there's a lot more than two things, but two primary things you care about when selling any item on Amazon, and that is, does the book sell? Does the item sell? If it doesn't sell, it doesn't matter how profitable it is or what the price is, because you won't get sales. So number one, does it sell? What's the sales velocity? Harry Potter sells thousands of times every hour on Amazon, but it's not that profitable. So you want it to sell often, and you want it to sell for a profit. If you get those two things down, you have a business. So our whole goal here is not only to tell you the profit, but also tell you the sales velocity. So do you want to talk a little bit about sales rank versus eScore? Because that's really what's going to break that down for people.
Yeah, I do. But one thing I did want to mention as well is there's something called custom triggers. These are rules that we were talking about.
Yep.
I recommend if you're brand new, just use the custom triggers that are right out of the box.
Yeah, that's why I didn't really go deep into that. I don't want to confuse them too much, but there's basically different sales rank ranges, which if a sales rank is 1, that means it's the top selling book on Amazon. If a sales rank is 100, that means it's the 100th best sales rank on Amazon. 100,000, still pretty good for books. There's tons of books on Amazon. There's millions of books on Amazon. So 100,000 mean at that given moment, that is the 100,000th fastest selling book on Amazon. So really, like under a million rank is generally pretty good. If you get to a million rank book, that's about 12 times per year ish. It sells about 12 times per year, which is 1 time per month. So the way Scout IQ works is if the book sells faster, it thinks that it gives it bonus points. So like if it sells faster, it's going to lower the profit threshold. So if you can make $2 on a book that is going to sell like the first week, it's going to go ahead and say buy that book. But if it's a $2 profit book and it's going to take like 2 months for you to sell, Scout IQ is going to reject it. So the sales rank range go from, I think starting out it's like 1 to 125,000, and then 125,000 like 200,000.
Yeah.
They have like different rank ranges, and the slower selling the book, the more profit Scout IQ requires.
Yeah.
So if it's like 5 million plus ranked book, which I've purchased 5 million plus ranked books and sold them for thousands of dollars profit, like literally, like it's crazy. I've purchased like Jewish sets, and I'm like, there's a chance this might sell for $2,000. Do I want to invest $100 in this now for a chance to sell it next year?
Yeah.
And you know, I did in that case, and I got a $2,000
risk versus reward.
Exactly. So if you're going to go after the slower selling books, the higher ranked books, make sure the profit's there. And Scout IQ automatically does that for you. People always freak out. What trigger should I use? This, that. I just recommend using the default triggers because the person who created this was a bookseller himself, and that's why I like Scout IQ over Scoutly. The person who created this was a bookseller, and they literally innovated the market. They programmed it exactly the way they wanted it for their business. And so the default triggers you're using is the triggers they use for their business. And Scoutly just copied everything Scout IQ did.
They really did.
Yeah.
And I don't even think Scoutly, do they even sell books, or they're just like a developer in another country?
Yeah, they're a developer in another country, and they did a great job of just copying everything, even the color scheme. I mean, they're borderline like it's illegal kind of what they did. But I mean, I won't rip on them too hard. But they have copycat tactics that I'm not too fond of.
So again, just to recap, sales rank is a snapshot in time. Okay, that's how this book is selling, or any item on Amazon right now. Okay, eScore is how many days there's been at least one sale in a 180-day period.
Yep.
So over a 60.
I didn't really get into
period.
eScore too much. I talked more about sales rank. Generally, you'll hear people talk about sales rank more, but eScore is actually a better metric.
Way better, way better. And you know, sales rank is like what's happening right now. Like, and keep in mind, I know Caleb Roth, the original founder of Scout IQ.
Yep.
He always said like a book could be ranked like 1 million, 2 million ranked, but if it sells, that rank could drop right down to 100,000.
Generally, when a book sells, it does go down to 100,000. So if yesterday it was 5 million, if you get a sale, it temporarily goes, the sales rank goes down to 100,000, but then it quickly goes back up. So at any point in time, a book can go back down to 100,000, which is why sales rank is kind of confusing. You're like, oh, the sales rank of this book's 100,000. Well, yeah, it's only sold once in the past year. You know, you don't really know the full story when you look at the sales rank. It is literally a snapshot, screenshot in time.
A lot of people lose money selling books, beginners, because they listen to and I guess maybe it's our fault a little bit because we
Yeah.
give the general rule like
Yep.
stay under 1 million.
I just said that. I
rank.
literally just said stay under 1 million,
Yeah.
but you don't know the story behind the book. That's why e-score is a little bit better of a metric.
So the funny thing is, actually, one of our coaches who's in my membership site, Reselling Freedom, you might have heard about it. If not, you can check it out. We do private coaching. We have community calls. We have over 300 members. One of our coaches, Joji, actually one of your good friends, Joji Davenport, definitely check him out. He's doing 10 to 20,000 a month selling textbooks, and he does it all from home. So he has a strategy where he buys off Amazon, sells on Amazon. He does eBay to Amazon flips. Mostly all of his books are over 1 million ranked.
I know.
It's all super high ranked books. The reason I share that is the advice we're giving you is good, but it's like there's exceptions to the rules. But as a
Exactly.
beginner, the reason we're sharing this with you is when you're scanning books, scan another book for me if you could, please.
Yes, sir.
Avery, when we're scanning books, you don't want to live and die just based on what the profit is, okay?
So I purposely scanned that one because I knew that it was going to be a higher ranked book and it's going to reject it. You guys see it's $3 profit there, but it's 1.3 million ranked. So it doesn't really sell that often. I would actually pick that book up personally. It's not terrible. 21 e-score is pretty good, but let's scan another one here.
And what does 21 e-score mean?
So 21, this has 146 e-score. So what that means is over the last 6 months, this book has had at least 146 days with at least one sale. So theoretically, it could have sold for 150 plus times. It just means if there is a day where a sale or 2 or 10 occur, that counts as one. So an e-score tells you how many days over the last 180 did at least one sale occur. 146 is a pretty good e-score.
So when someone's at a thrift store or a library sale, and we'll be talking about that in day number 4, how to start finding books. Let's just pretend we're at a thrift store. Obviously, you're not going to be. I would love to go to a thrift store with just a table full of books that were all profitable. But let's just play a game here. Let's say we're at the thrift store. Find a book and scan it. Walk through the process. Like, what are you thinking in your mind when you're scanning an item? Like, how does this all come together? Because this is confusing. There's so many numbers on here.
Yeah. So immediately I just scanned a book. I see the sales ranks 891. And as a beginner, what you're going to want to do is obviously look at the profit. Is it profitable? But don't get too excited about that. This is just a number on the screen.
But that says 0. You paid 0? What if you're paying $3.99 for
So
it?
you can easily toggle that by clicking on that, and you can increase the price. Let's say we paid $1.50 for this book. Would it be worth it? If I spend $1.50, looks like I'm going to get about $5.31 back. Now, Mom, if you're watching this is where I might lose some people. There's this orange box going around. If you don't follow me here, it's okay, but I'm going to put this out there because I wish I would have known
Stick along,
this
Mom.
from day one. Mom, keep track. This orange box will jump around. As you scan different books, it's going to go like this, this, this. This orange box is comparing to different
Wait,
prices.
the orange box moves around based on the item?
Exactly. Yeah, Steve didn't even know this. But you can see down here, you got merchant fulfilled. These are all your merchant fulfilled offers. These are all your FBA offers. It feels like
It's a lot.
back in high school class again. But just know that basically the creator of this app made this orange box jump around to compare to different prices. So if the book is a very fast selling book, it thinks you might be able to price it higher and get more profit. So it's going to compare to a higher price. Versus if it's a very slow selling book, it's going to assume worst case scenario. This book, the lowest price is $12.71. Now, we both know for a fact that we can sell this for at least $17 because that's the lowest FBA offer. That's the buy box.
How do you know it's the lowest FBA offer, though?
So down here, you have the used buy box. Most of the time, as an FBA seller, you should be comparing to this price here. This price is going to tell you the lowest prime price, which is the buy box price. Most of the time, the buy box price is the lowest prime
What's
price.
the buy box mean for someone who doesn't know?
So the buy box is, just imagine you walk into a store and you have a bunch of socks that you can buy, right? There's a bunch of socks in a row. Are you going to get the sock in the very end or the very front?
I don't know. It depends.
You're probably going to grab the sock in the front and not be a weirdo and grab the sock in the
Maybe
very
I like
end.
my socks in the back.
I mean, if you're
Make sure no
buying,
one put them on their feet.
if you're buying groceries or something, you might buy the celery in the back, but generally you're going to buy the very first item in the front. So on Amazon, the way it works is you go to an Amazon page. We could actually probably put this up there. There's this little box called a buy box, and it's going to show you a price in an Amazon seller. Now, if you're brand new to selling on Amazon and you've been an Amazon customer, you probably didn't realize that Amazon made you purchase from one seller in particular. Amazon tries to make you buy from the customer that has the fastest shipping and the lowest price. And so our goal is to teach you how to send your books in to have fast shipping and a low price. And because of that combination of fast shipping and low price, you can actually price your books higher than a lot of the competition. Like if Steve's selling this book and I'm selling this book and I can ship it to you in 2 days and Steve's gonna take 7 days plus, Amazon's gonna give me the priority. Well, how can you get 2-day shipping? You do FBA. If you send all your items to FBA, Amazon's going to have that little prime check and they're gonna allow you to have 2-day shipping. So I know it sounds like extremely complicated, but Scout IQ factors in all this information and they know that the used buy box is at a certain price. And so instead of comparing to $12.71, which a lot of people would do, they would look the price up on Amazon. They'd be like, oh, this is going for $12.71 and this one's going for $13.90. But we know we can price it for $16.86 because that's the used buy box. So Scout IQ does a lot of thinking for you, so you should really pay attention to that orange box.
So right now, wherever the orange box is, and again, I'm playing beginner to help everybody out, that is showing us that it's pricing it at $17.98. So it thinks we can sell it the same price as Amazon?
So what it's gonna do, actually, this is really cool, it's going to shout out Caleb Roth for programming it this way. It compares to the Amazon price, but it actually assumes that we are gonna sell it for 10% less than Amazon.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so
I actually didn't know that.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't know that.
So if we go to profit here, you can see what price it's comparing to. You see how it says $16.18?
Oh.
Amazon's $17.98. It's actually taking 10% of $17.98, which should be $1.79 or $1.80, and it's subtracting that from $17.98, which is $16.18. And so it assumes you can sell it for $16.18, which is 10% less than Amazon. And so it never assumes you can sell the book for more than Amazon. So this app's doing a lot of consideration for you as you're scanning.
So let's scan another item. So I scan the item, and right off the bat, I see a bunch of things. I see, let's just pretend I paid, let's change the price. Let's say I paid, I don't know, $4, right? Some of these thrift stores are crazy. Yeah. So it's telling me I can make $30.28, even though it's a 2.6 million rank. It has no e-score. So what does that mean when there's just a dash right there?
That just means it wasn't able to retrieve the data from Amazon. It doesn't mean it doesn't have an e-score. If it doesn't have an e-score, it'll say 0 if it hasn't sold. And 0 is worse than the dash line. The dash line is like the app saying we didn't have enough data. 0 is saying we know for sure it didn't sell over the last 6 months.
So how does it know if I'm selling the book as used or new? Because obviously I'm selling my books as used, and it's like showing Amazon at $54.66. Wouldn't Amazon be selling it new? How am I going to price a used book the same as a new book?
Yeah, so Scout IQ always assumes you're selling as used.
Oh,
and if you
okay.
look, this is a very special example where the used price is actually higher than the new price.
Oh, interesting.
So the used Amazon sellers are selling their books for more than Amazon. My guess is they're not selling their books because they're priced too high. Amazon themselves are selling this book for $54, and there's used offers on the listing for $83. Very low chance these people are actually getting sales. Scout IQ is smart enough to say, hey, look, we're gonna compare it to 10% below Amazon because we don't think you can sell it for more, and they're not gonna compare to the low used offers. That's why it's important to use an app that can do thinking for you.
So what does this mean? Like, this always confused me. It says all, then FBA, then all again, and why is there 2 different alls and 2 different FBAs? That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, so if you look, there's 4 columns. The 2 columns on the left are for used offers. The 2 columns on the right are for new offers. And 1 column.
Oh, it says right there, 5 used offers and then 12 new. Oh, interesting.
And then,
gotcha.
These apps don't always have enough data because you have to understand that Amazon is in the business of selling books and items for cheap, fast shipping. Amazon cares about making the customer happy. They don't care about us making profit. And we'll get more into this later.
Yeah.
Actually, like with go-to lister, this has made me angry because I wish, I want to make more profit and I want to make you guys more profit. But these apps don't always have all the information necessary because Amazon hides some of the prices from us. And the reason why they do that is they don't want us to have the most intelligent software, because if we have the most intelligent software, we'll be able to price the book for exactly what we know we can sell it for. And we'll give you some tips on how to do that, but Amazon wants to keep the prices low. So sometimes they only show the lowest prices to third-party apps like this.
Interesting. Okay, cool. Now, what if there's this is a question I get all the time. What if there was let's pretend there was no barcode here. Mm-hmm. How could we scan this with the barcode scanner if there's no barcode?
So do you want me to look up the Jewish set that I sold a while back?
Yeah, whatever you'd like to do.
So you can type in, and this is a pro tip for sets of books too, because a set of books isn't gonna have a barcode. sometimes if you open up the inside cover for a set of books, it'll have what's called a set ISBN, and you can find different ISBNs on the first few pages. But let's just say you're at a library sale like I was a few years ago, and you find a set of books. So I got the Talmud 22 volume set. Here it is right here, currently 5.4 million rank. You can see it's $4,200 profit. Now, this is actually real.
You sold that book?
Yeah, I sold this for
how much?
$2,000.
Chump change.
I know, right? I looked at the Keepa, which, you know, if you want to learn more about Keepa, I would recommend Joji Davenport.
Yeah.
He's got some great Keepa videos. Basically, Keepa's like, we talked about eScore. If an eScore is 2, it's sold 2 times over the last 180 days. Keepa, you can see exactly what the book sold for, or at least make a very educated guess. And so I was at this library sale a few years ago. I manually typed in the book like I did just there, and I purchased this for $150. I ended up selling it for $2,000. Chump change, because I could have probably sold it for $3,000 or $4,000. But definitely use that. You know, we're going to show you a lot of techniques. Pro tip, like sneak peek into the next section. Are we going to talk about where to find books right now?
That's in day 4.
Okay.
Our next day. We're going to really cover our top 5 ways to find books.
Little teaser, booksalefinder.com is a great place to go for library sales. After the library sale's over with, all the scanners have already looked at all the books. There's lots of competition out there. Look at the books without barcodes. If you manually look up all the books without barcodes, there's a ton of profit out there because people are too lazy to do it.
Yeah, here's a good tip. If you hit scan right here,
This is awesome.
you see how it's on the barcode right now. This will allow you to obviously scan the barcode like that. But let's pretend there's no barcode. Hit scan, then hit ISBN in the middle, and then you want to find the ISBN. Which one is there? Because there's 2 of them. Which one should people choose?
In this case, I don't know. I would just scan the top one. It's probably a teacher edition versus student edition, so it'll tell you after you scan it.
Yeah, for some reason it's not finding anything, and it keeps...
Scan this one here.
Oh, so you can just do the top numbers?
Yeah.
It's not... Have you connected? Maybe, am I logged out or something? Did I
You have
miss...
an old version of the app, maybe?
For some reason it's not working. But essentially, let me try one more. For some reason it's being a little weird. But
See if I can get it going.
yeah, I haven't updated my app in a little bit.
I did. Let's see if I can get this.
Oh, I got it.
Boom.
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
yeah, I got it. So you just go to ISBN and then go right over it like that, and it'll look it up. And then the one thing about Scout IQ, I'm going to trash Scout IQ for this. Their title thing is terrible. Like,
Yeah.
just remove it. Like, it doesn't work. Like, it's just...
I actually got it to work last night for the first time in like 5 years.
Like, what is this? Like, guys, just take it off your app if it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Like...
Scan it again.
Like, seriously. All right, so now that we've discussed how to analyze books, we discussed setting up your barcode. One thing I do want to mention as well is going into Amazon's the Amazon Seller app, because if you don't have Scout IQ, maybe you're on a budget and you don't want to use it, you can you use a barcode scanner with Amazon Seller app?
You can.
I've never used it because it was
can-
always slow.
I
It
said,
always like stops halfway.
Yeah, it's not worth it. Like I said, this just thinks it's a keyboard, so
Yeah.
it'll enter in any app. You could literally open Tinder and use it and scan messages.
Whoa.
This will happen. You'll accidentally text your friends sometimes ISBN numbers because you'll scan it, and if you have a text message open, it'll send your friend a number and delete it. So with the Amazon Seller app, I mean, I would just use it the way Mama Profit does.
Yeah, so you can hit the little camera in the top right-hand corner, and there's a couple ways you can do this. One, you can actually scan the cover
That's the best.
just
way.
like that. You see how it's kind of funky? It's like not even picking it up, which is really weird. Let's try another one. Just not perfect. Okay, I got that one to scan. And you have to find the listing. One thing to mention as well is when you're scanning books, you want to tell people about what happens when like multiple listings come up for one item. Like this one, you see how there's all these different listings?
Yeah.
Like you have to make sure you're choosing the correct listing,
Yep,
right?
Yep, and that's the cool thing about Scout IQ is Scout IQ automatically does that for you most of the time. But if there are multiple listings like that, I always just choose the one with the lower sales rank, because the one with the lower sales rank sells more often. I don't care if the price is higher
Yeah.
for one than the other. Always go with the faster selling book.
And here's a great tip. All right, this will make you a lot of money. So a lot of people, when you're selling on Amazon, some items will be restricted. What does that mean? That means that you can't sell it until you get ungated or you get an invoice to sell it. Unfortunately, with books now, they don't let you really get ungated except for like maybe a couple exceptions.
Yeah,
So-
yeah. There's brands like American Girl Doll, Lego, like any type of brand you can get ungated in, but there's 3 brands,
Categories.
publishers that you can't.
Yeah.
And that's going to be Popular Textbooks and Pearson, Cengage, McGraw-Hill. There's so many counterfeits in the market. We'll show you guys what a counterfeit book looks like later. But Amazon realized so many of us were inadvertently, on accident, selling counterfeit books. So they've just restricted all new sellers from selling some of the most profitable textbooks on Amazon. You'll find $200 profit textbooks and you won't be able to sell it.
So a great tip is like for this one, for example, if I say I was able to get this for like I don't know, let's just even say $3. This thing would make 29, almost $30 profit. Look at it, it's a 641,000 rank. The merchant to FBA is pretty close. Like I would make $30 profit, but guess what? I can't sell it. So most people, they leave it behind. Big mistake. Go to restrictedinventory.com. This is actually a service that Avery created how many years ago?
Almost 4 years now.
Yeah, so you could send it to Restricted Inventory, their company, and they have a whole software dashboard and everything, and they'll split the profits with you. It's not worth it if it's just a couple bucks profit. Honestly, I'm sorry. I wouldn't send books to you.
Yeah, no,
it's
for
not
sure.
worth your time.
And real quick, go back to Scout IQ real quick because you have the updated version I saw. And scan this, I think it was this book here.
It's being weird. Oh, there we go.
Okay, so this is a perfect example. So on this book here, you see sell back your book, which you should always look at that, says 0.
What does that mean? Sell back your book.
Sell back your book is a website where they will buy your books for cash. So like, let's say you scan a book. There was a book earlier I scanned. I think it was this one. Sell back your book's offering $11 for this book.
Where do you see that?
Right here, this little green right here. If you look on the screen, it says
got you.
11.05. They're actually going to pay you $11 cash. So if you can pick this up for $2, you can make $8 profit just like that.
You just send it to them, they just pay you?
Yeah, you click on add to cart here, and it's going to have you log in and sell back your book. Boom. And you can add books that way. Same exact thing with restricted inventory. You can click on the, restricted inventory. You would make $14 if you sent it to us. And so if you can't sell this book and you would rather make $14, that's an estimated profit if the book sells for that price. Restricted inventory does not purchase your books. They sell your books for you, which is actually better because on a lot of these textbooks, like for example, on this one, sell back your book's paying 0, but restricted inventory, if it sells, is going to pay you $16. So it's consignment service. Basically, we allow you to use our ungated accounts. We check for counterfeit books. We do all the processing of books. We prep the books for free. All we ask is you cover shipping to us. So restricted inventory really allows you to make money on books that you would otherwise leave on the shelf. And quick story about that, I was out teaching my mom how to sell books, and she's like,
Oh, I can't make money on these because they're restricted.
and I'm like, Mom, do you know my business? I'd been making a living from doing this business for the last 2 years. Now I'm teaching my mom how to sell books, and she doesn't even realize that her son is the owner of restrictedinventory.com, and she wasn't sending me the books. So that's a funny story about that. So just know there's a lot going on with this app. And Scout IQ is great because it shows you how much profit you can make with Amazon. If you choose to send a sell back your book, if you're restricted, you can send a restricted inventory. There's also this bookshelf you can click on here. All these books to the right, or I guess it would be to the left of live. Click on that. That'll show you all the vendors that are offering money for the books. So like Pals, Velour, all these different things. You got to prove you're not a robot. But anyway, that's another good way to do it too. So if you click on that, it'll show you, how much money a vendor's paying for it. So maybe you can make $10 on Amazon, but maybe a vendor's going to pay you $3.
Yeah.
And my opinion is it's better to make a nickel today than a dime tomorrow in this business because you never know what's going to happen.
Another tip is if you can't figure out how to scan the barcode, you could always type in the title of the book into Amazon. Obviously, my keyboard's gone because I'm using the app. So you could disconnect your barcode scanner and you could type it in. You could also obviously take a picture of this. We talked about a little bit. But it's, when it comes to scanning books, it's all about speed. You want to scan fast. 90% plus of the books are going to be worthless, trash. But that's why you're using this technology to filter through the books as fast as possible. And
Should I show them the speed technique real quick?
Sure.
All right, yeah. So I'm going to have Zach follow me. Real quick, guys. We're showing you a lot in this video. Scout IQ is a complex app, but the paradox is it's complex to make it simple for you. So it does all this crazy thinking for you, and it comes down to a decision, green or red. You should buy it, or you shouldn't. You shouldn't 100% listen to every green, and you shouldn't 100% listen to every red.
I always check Amazon seller app before I leave the store.
100%. Yeah,
Always,
always double check.
every.
Make sure you're not restricted. Do everything you need to do to ensure it's actually a good book. But I would definitely recommend come back and watch this video again. This specific video after your first month or two of selling books, because you're gonna hear everything we just said, which sounded like gibberish, and it's all gonna make sense to you. And a lot of it won't make sense today, like the orange box jumping around with the buy boxes. You'll be like, what the heck is that? Come back in a month and you'll love watching this video. Anyway, follow me real quick. Ooh, we're gonna go in here. And I wanna show you this because this is the difference between you scanning, let's say 20 books per hour and 2,000 books per hour. If you scan 2,000 books per hour, definitely tag me. I've never done that. I've scanned, I think 1,200 or 1,500 is my record. You have to be going fast. But remember, speed is the name of the game. So if you're doing this, you're not gonna make any money. You see how slow that was? I was going back and forth. What you wanna do is keep the books on the shelf here. And I saw a YouTuber do this years ago, and it literally revolutionized the way I thought about scanning books. And this is huge, guys. It's so simple, but really pay attention here. I'm only pulling it out far enough to scan the barcode, and I can go again, and I can go again, again, and the whole time, Scout IQ is going. This is actually how I scan. I leave Scout IQ on the screen there, on the shelf, and I just scan as fast as I can. If it's red, I know to keep going on. Steve doesn't have very many unprofitable books in his house, but you can see sales rank is 7.
You know we do.
I would even pick up that book if it was free. That's $1 buy cost, not bad. But yeah, you basically just scan as fast as you can. You can scan 500 plus books per hour with that method.
So that's how it's done. Hopefully everybody got a lot of value in this video. So in the next video, we're actually going to be discussing how to find books, how to source. We're gonna talk about a bunch of different places, obviously thrift stores, but there's a lot of, I mean, we probably have like 20, 30 different techniques to find books. We're gonna share our top 5 for now. So take action. Download Scout IQ. We'll put a link down below. Start playing around, have some fun. And you know, just keep practicing, right? Practice makes perfect in this business. It's gonna be a little challenging in the beginning. Play around the Amazon seller app. Always check out with the Amazon seller app. Like, don't leave the store, the library sale, whatever, without checking to make sure you're not restricted. Make sure, you know, another big thing I didn't mention is if the merchants are super duper low and FBA is super duper high, don't always just trust what it says, because that's a recipe for price tanking. We'll talk more about that when we're listing and pricing and stuff. But we'll see you in day number 4 to you know, start sourcing some books and whatnot. But with that being said, much love. See ya.
Peace out, guys.
Welcome back to day number 4 of the 5-day book selling workshop. Hopefully everybody's gotten their account set up. You're going through, you're scanning, you're analyzing items, you're playing around with Scout IQ, you're pumped up, ready to make this happen. Now we need to talk about how to source books. This is the fun part. This is where the rubber meets the road. And there's probably, I mean, there's got to be 40 or 50 different ways that we utilize.
So many ways
to source books.
Thousands of ways.
And tons of other items as well. Like, it doesn't, the fun doesn't stop with just books. That's how we start. But today we're going to share our top 5 ways to start. Yeah, just 5 right now, because
I might leak out a few extra.
We definitely can. But the thing that I'm worried about is, I know when I was new to selling on Amazon, or even when I started eBay back in the day, like, everyone always said, do all these different things. And then guess what? It's paralysis by analysis. Is that the saying? You just get so overwhelmed. So we want to share 5 concrete, actionable, easy ways that you could start sourcing books to start finding inventory. And that's the name of the game when it comes to selling books or selling anything on Amazon. How do you make more money? How do you sell more items?
Find more inventory, buy more inventory.
And it's not just about buying more inventory, right? A book isn't just a book. It's all about, how's the sales rank? How's the profit? How's the ROI? How's the turnover? And we talked a lot about this in our, you know, our initial training for day number 3. But overall, the goal should be to find more books, find more inventory, considering it has good ROI, turnover, e-score, profit.
Exactly. Follow those triggers. Use the good sales rank books. Send in stuff that turns green, you know, and you'll be safe. If you send in a bunch of red stuff, and you're like, it said it was profitable, and it doesn't work out for you, it's because you're not sending in good stuff. Send in fast selling stuff with good profit, you'll be okay.
And I want to say right now, Be sure, if you haven't yet, go follow Avery on his YouTube channel, on Instagram, over at Romer the Romer.
Romer the Romer on everything. Likewise, for my people, follow Steve. If you're not following him already, you guys should be subbed.
Yeah, we've got, social media, YouTube. We have free Facebook groups, so definitely check it all out. And make sure, if you haven't yet, once you get to day 5, you'll be ready. But get yourself a free 14-day free trial to go to Lister so you can start rocking and rolling. But let's jump right into things. Let's get into the fun stuff everybody wants to know about. How do you start sourcing books? And the first way that I always recommend, because I'm all about being on a budget, right? When I start a business, I'm not always, like, I've started a lot of business over the years. And when I first started a business, I'm like, am I even going to like this? Is this going to be a good fit for me? Like, is this legit? And we could tell you all day long until the sun comes up, like, sell books, it's great. But some of you guys might not even know who we are. And like, are these guys full of baloney? Like, does this even work? You've got to try it for yourself. So
let's be skeptical. And the last thing I would want is for you to spend a bunch of money, buy all the supplies, set up an LLC, and then do nothing. Prove to yourself that this works. Prove to yourself you can turn a profit, and then reinvest in your business. Start growing from there.
So exactly, great. So the first thing I would say is start sourcing inventory. This is tip number 1. Start sourcing inventory from around your house.
Yep.
I don't know if it was Gary Vaynerchuk, but somebody was like, the average person has like $5,000 worth of profit in their house.
Yeah, Gary V talks about that.
Yeah, I don't know how true that is, but most people think books are junk. And a lot of them, I'm not talking from like a knowledge standpoint, from like a monetary standpoint, most of them aren't worth money. Yeah. But you'd be shocked, some of your old textbooks, some of your even fiction, nonfiction book sets.
I'd say your house, most people's houses have higher percent profit books than all the strategies we're going to talk about. And the reason for that is nobody has scanned through your books yet. When we talk about these other strategies, there's probably other people that have been through the course, or maybe they heard about it, or maybe they've been selling books for a few years. They have access to those books too, but nobody has access to the books at your house. So generally you'll find 15, 20, 30% of the books at your house are good to sell on Amazon.
And also you don't have to worry about, let's be real, like, and we're probably gonna, flip over to some different clips of like thrifting. And I think you have a clip you wanted to share of being at a library sale a while back. But when you're out at a library sale or a thrift store, these different methods we're going to talk about, you got to worry about like competition or people looking at you. Like, you feel like maybe people are judging you. I don't know about you.
For sure. Yeah. Like when I first started,
I was scared.
Dude, I was so sketch. I was in this Goodwill and I was scanning, and I was scanning with my phone. I didn't even buy the Bluetooth scanner yet. And my energy was just so off because I felt like I was doing something bad.
Illegal,
and,
right?
Dude, the manager was walking by and was like looking at me like, what is this kid doing? And I was like looking back like, and I scanned one shelf. And it, like, in hindsight, it was so stupid what he did, because I purchased a whole cart filled with crappy books.
Yeah.
I was buying all the thrift stores books and they weren't even good because I didn't understand the stuff we're teaching you. I didn't understand sales rank. I didn't understand eScore. I didn't understand if a book turned green, it was good, or red, it was bad. Like, I think at the time I wasn't even using like a scanning app. Maybe I was, but anyway, back to the point. Like, I filled a whole cart of books that were trash. Yeah. And he got mad at me. He kicked me out of the store. When I filled up a cart, he thought I was getting one over on him. He was like, oh, this kid's making a bunch of money off the books. In hindsight, I was doing the store a favor because I was buying all their trash books, And so that was like one of my stories where, like, that's the only time it's ever happened to me, and it was because I was so weird about it. And you'll feel weird the first time.
Yeah.
You'll get over it, but just know that like what you're doing is good. You're buying books, you're getting them back in the system. You're gonna provide the book to a reader somewhere in the middle of Idaho. Like, you're doing good things, so don't feel bad about it.
Yeah, and speaking of doing that, was that the employee or the manager?
I think it was the manager, yeah.
Yeah, speaking of doing, managers or whoever favors, right, in terms of books and whatnot. Friends and family, right? Let your friends and family know, hey, I'm starting up a book business, if you're not too shy about it. I know sometimes in the beginning you're like, I don't want to tell anyone, which is fine, but ask your friends, ask your family, like, hey, do you have any books lying around? Because a lot of people, they've got a whole bunch of books, a bookshelf. They just want it gone, but they're big, bulky, heavy. Like, they don't want to deal with it. Like, if you can come and just like say, hey, I'll take them all, or give you a couple bucks. You want to touch on that a little bit?
Well, I mean, books are just heavy, man. Like, all booksellers want a bunch of books until you have too many books to deal with. One day, if you take this business seriously, you're going to have 20, 30 boxes of books that a library, a thrift store, somebody wants you to take. And on that fourth box, your back is going to burn. And you're going to be like, oh my gosh, what am I doing? Or you're going to be in a house filled with books. You agreed to take them all away. when you feel that, remember that feeling that you feel like, oh my gosh, this is overwhelming. There's so many boxes of books. I don't know what to do with them. Remember that feeling, because that's the feeling that everybody who has too many books has to deal with, and you are the solution to their problem. We'll get more into those techniques, but just remember that feeling, because while you're looking at these as golden nuggets, you're looking at these as like dollar bills, other people are looking at these as like a bunch of weight they have to carry. They're looking at it as a problem. So remember, books are a problem for a lot of people. You're the solution, and you can turn those books into dollars.
Yeah, I was gonna move right into sharing like 4 of my top secret tips for thrift stores, but I want to skip that and segue into a really great app that I got to credit you about. You taught me about this app, and I want to ask everybody, who here would love to be able to start their book business by getting hundreds, if not thousands of books coming directly to you for free, or you go pick them up for free? I don't know. I would, right? Yeah. And when I first taught Iris, my girlfriend, we used to live in Miami together. I'm here in Connecticut now, but I tell everyone I brought Miami back to Connecticut. So I locked her down, brought her back here. When she started her book business, and she's not doing it anymore because she's got a new job working for the state, just to be perfectly transparent. But when she was running her book business in Miami, she put out an ad on Nextdoor, okay? Tell everyone about the Nextdoor app, because you have helped...
Free ad, right? She didn't pay for it.
No, free. But you've helped so many people make money, and I took that and gave it to her, and she made hundreds of dollars off of it the first week.
So Nextdoor is an app that allows you to verify where you live. So you sign up for Nextdoor, they send you a letter in the mail, which proves that you live in this zip code. Once you prove that, that's a barrier to entry. You can post within that app. It's like a social media app. You can hire work. It's not really made for business. It's more for like community, right? Or a little bit of business interaction. But basically, it's a community-based app. Everybody knows that you're nearby. And what you can do is provide value, post pictures of yourself with books. You can put an ad. He's calling it an ad, but it's free. What you do is you just put, hey, I will pick up all your books at no charge, and I run a book business, and I'll get all the books back into the hands of readers. Any books that I don't sell online for a profit, you don't have to say that, but I like to be transparent. I'm going to give to Goodwill or Salvation Army or use Bookstore. So what you're doing is you're providing value to the community by taking the books that aren't being read, you're taking them off the shelf, and you're putting them back into the hands of readers, and you're getting paid for it the whole time. Yeah. And this is a great method to get tons and tons and tons of books.
Every single person I've ever talked to have done this has found books. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time, right? You will have, the funny thing is when my girlfriend was doing it, she was like, oh, there's already other ads out there. Like, I'm not going to get calls. She got calls.
Yep.
And what I've actually done inside of my community, Reselling Freedom, what I did is I created 13 different templates inside of Canva. Have you used Canva before to create graphics and stuff?
Nope.
Oh, it's pretty much like a cloud-based like graphic design. You can log in. I've created a whole bunch of templates that everybody could use. So if anyone is here in Reselling Freedom, go into the template section. I have literally ads, business cards you could use, templates, and you just plug and play, switch out your business name for it. Put those on Facebook Marketplace too. Craigslist, maybe. I don't know if people still use
anywhere you can post them. Craigslist is a great place to get books. We'll talk more about those strategies. But one more pro tip with that is do it every week. Don't do it one time and be like, oh, it didn't work.
You have to refresh it,
refresh it, post on Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace. Like Steve's over here. He makes a video for Instagram. He posts on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. He posts it on all the platforms. He makes one piece of content that he spreads across all platforms. If you're going to post one on Craigslist, post it on Facebook Marketplace. Post it on Nextdoor. Post it on your personal Facebook page. Post it everywhere and do it every week. If you do
pick
that,
up your damn phone. I hate to say it like that, but I had friends who do it and they're like, yeah, like I'm getting calls, but like I'm not picking up, and I call back and they don't. Like, you got to pick up your phone when they call. Like that lead is hot.
Reply to the comments, interact with people. And then on Nextdoor, you can actually get momentum. So when you go pick up books from somebody, from Susie, pull your phone out with Susie and all the books and be like, hey, I'm with Susie in the community, zip code 37205, wherever you're at, and be like, hey, I'm here in Nashville, and take a selfie with her, all the books, and then I guarantee you that'll lead to like 10 more people.
Oh, yeah. That's a great tip.
Social proof.
And again, Facebook Marketplace as well. I'm not going to go too deep into this, but you can use Facebook Marketplace to get books locally. Yeah. Great opportunity because the competition's way lower.
Yeah.
But you could also hand pick books to source on Facebook Marketplace you pay for shipping, they'll ship it directly to you. That's a form of online arbitrage, a bit more advanced.
Yep.
I probably wouldn't.
And generally, Facebook Marketplace people know the value for their books, so they want a little bit more. But next door people are more like, oh, this person has a book business. They're going to get my books back into the hands of readers. Therefore, they give you their books for free.
Yeah.
And you're driving across town. You're picking their books up, so you should 100% take their books for free. You don't have to pay for books. It's a lot of work to get these. So don't feel bad for taking somebody else's books that aren't being read and giving them to people who will read them and making money in between.
Yeah, and there's a lot of books out there, really stupid, just weird niche books. Honestly, like weird books.
Yeah.
Like some of the books that my mom picks up, because she's been doing this for a while. I mean, I
weirder the
couldn't
better.
even tell you about some of these books. Like some of these weird, just really odd, unique, obscure, just like, you're just like, what? Who the heck would want this? Those are the books that do well.
Exactly.
It's the books that are like mass-produced paperbacks. You know all about it. It's like
Harry Potter.
yeah, it's like a lot of those
Twilight.
aren't really worth that much money. So look for the weird stuff. Now, let's talk about thrift stores a little bit. I've got 4 tips. We all know we should be going to thrift stores, right? Now, as a prerequisite, let's talk about, because I know you've talked about this a lot, mapping out like a thrift store route, how to find thrift stores, like how can folks find thrift stores near them and figure out which ones to go to. And then I'm going to get into 4 of my top secret, I don't know if they're top secret, but 4 tips.
Best thing to do is go on your phone, go to Google Maps and just type in thrift stores and put a pin at every thrift store around you. Then type in used bookstore, put a pin for every used bookstore around you. You got Second and Charles on the East Coast. You got Boomerang Books if you're up near Boston. You got Pal's Books on the West Coast. You got Half Price Books. You got McKay's if you're in the South.
I was going to say McKay's. I've never been to a McKay's.
All over the place. You got used bookstores. You got Savers thrift stores up here.
Savers.
Out west, you got, I think they have Savers out west too. Down south, we don't. We got Goodwill, Salvation Army. You got all these different places. So map out, and then libraries on top of that. Pro tip, like if you're up in the Northeast, you're spoiled rotten. Every single library has an ongoing library sale. If you're in the South, it's like 50-50. But call the libraries, see if they have an ongoing sale. That's just like a small book section that, and sometimes it's huge, but a lot of times it's just like 1 or 2 shelves of books that they have for sale. And make a map of like 20 or 30 places. And I'm stepping into the territory where I might overwhelm them a little bit because I'm saying put 20 different locations on your map. But the reason why I do it this way is like you have no excuse. If you go into a location and the books suck, meaning you scan 200 books and you get nothing, that's probably a pretty bad spot. All you have to do is get in your car and drive to the next location and start scanning again. So get all those locations we just said, thrift stores, used bookstores, and libraries. Those are the top 3. I mean, there's other places we could go to, but that'll cover your bases.
Yeah, exactly. And it's a lot of trial and error, and I'll jump to this right now. One of the tips is when you're new to selling books or just going thrifting, again, Goodwill, Salvation Army, Savers, there's a lot of thrift stores. When you're new, there's a lot of experimentation in terms of what days should I go? Like in my area, Savers, there's a couple days I know they don't put out inventory, so I ain't gonna be over there, right?
Yep.
One tip I can give, this is what my mom did. She got herself like a little tiny journal. She would bring it in her car. And when she would visit different thrift stores, she would write down a note. How many did I find? What was the time? How much profit I made? And over time, she started to learn what days, what times were best. Talk to the staff, the employees, ask them, hey, when do you bring out books? Introduce yourself. My mom, she's funny. Like she'll bring donuts and like,
That's the best thing you can do is build relationships, go to the same places, learn the cadence of the thrift store, learn the cadence of the library. The biggest challenge for me traveling all the time, when I first started this business, I was living in my car. I traveled all the way to California, up to Washington, back all the way across to Portland, Maine, all the way down. And my biggest struggle was I would walk into a place and I'm like, I don't know when they restock. I don't know the manager.
I don't know the newest colors, what inventory is new, what's old.
So many nuances, but the mama prophets of the towns I went to, they knew, oh, what's this kid doing? He's going in on a Wednesday. The books were put out on Tuesday.
What a punk.
Exactly. What is punk doing? And, I was scanning the leftovers of all their books. I was getting new stores every day, but own your city. Know what time the new books come out. Know the managers. It might feel weird. I felt weird doing this starting out, but bring coffee. Bring donuts. Do that stuff. It feels weird to like gift someone you don't know, but trust me. Like if you say nice things to people and you bring them food and you actually have a good heart, like people will reciprocate well.
And this is another tip. Some of the thrift stores don't really like this, so you got to be respectful. But when new inventory comes out, when Goodwill is bringing out that blue bin, you remember, right? When you used to hit the thrift stores hard all the time. We source from a lot of
I
different
just
places
force
now.
myself back there and find the blue bins
Yeah.
myself.
You want to hear a funny story?
What's that?
So at a Goodwill, this is funny. I'm curious what you folks would do. So you know the big blue bins where they come wheeling out and there's like 6 carts on it where they get filled up with books? Trust me, you want to attack those bins because that's the newest inventory. The newest inventory is always the best.
Always the best.
Folks might think, I'm going to look for the color because there's typically a color coordination like red, blue, green, and every week they change it. And some of them do half off. It depends where you live. A lot of people are always asking, hey, what's the oldest color? Because I want to get 50% off on that. No, that's been scanned through a million times. You still might find some low-hanging fruit, but you're going to find things that make a couple bucks.
Right.
Of course, there's exceptions to the rule. Maybe someone like messes something up and they don't scan it. But
non-barcode books, stuff like that.
there's this guy who used to always, he would come in with a stool and he would park his stool in front of the new cart that comes out. And when my mom or anybody would go to scan the books and stuff, he would give everybody dirty looks. Like he would claim the cart. What would you do in that situation?
I mean, he's a
He
businessman.
claimed it, man.
Yeah, I would
He brought his stool.
kick over that stool as hard as I can and just start scanning those books. People get intense with this
They
business,
get
guys.
aggressive.
We haven't even gotten into library sales yet, but I mean, library sales have a lot of fresh inventory that no one's seen before. And when you let 20 booksellers charge in there, especially in New Jersey,
Yeah.
those people don't play around.
I had someone the other day ask me, Avery, how many books, it was an Instagram DM, how many books should I expect to get or purchase when I go to a thrift store? My answer was anywhere from 0 to 50.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, like, I've gone to a thrift store tons of times, came up with nothing. Why?
Yeah.
Maybe they didn't have new inventory. Maybe a competitor beat me. Maybe I was just not looking hard enough and scanning enough inventory. And then other times I've hit Jackpot City where I'm like, damn, if this was an everyday thing, I'd become a millionaire. But it's not an everyday thing. Let's just be
Well, you get
honest.
better with time, and like you realize what places are good, and then your time becomes more valuable because you know to go to certain thrift stores on certain days. But don't be afraid to leave a thrift store with nothing. Don't force yourself to buy something if it's crap.
Especially if the thirst like 20, 30 minutes, you're like, this sucks.
Yeah.
Like, just move on.
Exactly. And if you've been there for 20 minutes, check your scans. If you've only scanned 20 books, that's your fault.
What do you mean by check your scans? What does that mean?
On Scout IQ, you can swipe over to the right and see how many books you scanned.
Good tip.
And make sure that you're actually like, if you're like mentally like, this is not worth it, take a step back, look at the data. How many books did you actually scan and how many did you accept? And if you scanned 50 books, you didn't do anything. But if you scanned a couple hundred and got nothing, maybe they are pretty bad.
So this is a good question. What's a good accept rate for folks? What I mean is if you scan 1,000 books and you're at a thrift store, Goodwill, Salvation, Savers, wherever you are, mom and pop, consignment, pawn shop, by the way, good for DVDs, not really books. But what's a good acceptance rate?
Honestly, I think anything over 3% is pretty good.
So that means every 100 books, you might only get 3. So do the math. How is that worthwhile for someone? Why should they not just be working a minimum wage job? Again, no offense, but I'm just saying, like, why be doing this?
So if you scan 100 books per hour and you find 3 per hour and each book makes you around $4, let's say, after all costs, you're making $12 an hour. What if you can scan 3 times as fast? You should be able to scan at least 300 books per hour, which would bring you up to $36 per hour.
And that's with low-end books.
Low,
We usually
yeah.
don't mess with low-end books like
exactly. 3% we're talking about. Now let's up those numbers and say you're able to scan 500 per hour and you're able to accept 5%. You can easily be making $900 plus per hour, and this is extremely doable. So,
And guess what? The first 3 we've talked about so far, I mean, really, friends, family, in your house is actually a really good one. But I would say thrift stores, especially, is the easiest, lowest barrier to entry. You're going to have the most competition. You're typically going to make for me, at least in 2023, moving on to 2024, I just feel like thrift stores are great to get started, but you wanna level up from there over time.
Yep.
It's just any and everybody and everybody's mom, including
exactly. Yeah.
Seriously,
My
like-
mom lives next to like the biggest used bookstore in America, McKay's used bookstore. So my mom literally has like fresh inventory all day.
Yeah. Oh man.
But
I'm
my mom's
jealous.
not very aggressive, so like when they bring out the new books, she's not like running over there.
Yeah.
My mom needs a little bit more of that stool energy, where she just goes up and puts the stool down and starts.
She's got that stool energy.
She needs that stool
If
energy.
you ever see someone with a stool at your local thrift store, don't mess with
yeah,
them,
they're
right?
not playing around.
Okay, cool. So we talked about friends, family in your house. We talked about the Nextdoor app. We talked about thrift stores. Let's talk about library sales. Now, the last one is something I'm really excited to share with you guys about. I'll show Avery a little sneak peek. That'll be the last one.
Oh,
but
yeah.
let's talk about library sales. I'll be honest with you. with everybody, when it comes to library sales, I don't have a ton of experience. I've gone to them, but I think this should really be your area because you used to go crazy. I mean, I know some websites, I can give some tips, but you're the expert when it comes to this.
Yeah, so first of all, go to booksalefinder.com. You'll see a list of all the library sales in your region. So you'll see all the library sales in Tennessee. You'll see all the library sales in the South. It's worth traveling to cities for these library sales, but it's only worth it if you show up on time. So, well, they got some new ads on there. That's interesting. So what you want to do is buy a membership to every library sale you go to, because the membership always allows you to get early access. So you're going to become a member of the Friends of the Library. So this allows you to get early access, plus you'll get emails as time goes on. So put all the library sales that are up and coming in your calendar. So you want all the library sales in your calendar, you want to show up on time, and then when you get in there, my opinion is go straight for the textbooks.
That's got to be where everyone's going, though.
Yeah, go straight for there's a reason for that. They're the most profitable books. So I know some people, I think Mike says he likes to go for other categories. Is it Mike or somebody likes to go for other categories? I prefer to go for the most money, which is the textbooks. So when you go in, get there early, go straight for the textbooks, and then after that, anything that's weird, nonfiction.
But do you bring like a cart or something? How do you wheel all these books around? Like, what's the best strategy?
My favorite combination back in the day was if you go to Home Depot, you can get a collapsible dolly. I would get a dolly, and I would stack 2 boxes of books on it. And then if you fill up 2 boxes of books at a library sale, if you're selective, that's a lot. But I would usually fill up like 5 or 6.
What do they usually charge for books at a library sale?
Anywhere from $2 to $3 to 25 cents sometimes. So, and usually the last day of the sale, they'll drop the prices to 25 cents. So, but really like the money's getting there early.
See, the one I went to, I don't know if you ever heard the story when it was my first library sale I went to, and I went to grab a book, and this guy said F you, and he like cussed me out, and I'm like, does this guy like not like me from YouTube? I always have to be, I don't know who's watching, so like I didn't do anything, plus he was twice my size, but you know, I don't got the wrestling moves like you, man, with his cauliflower ears.
They get crazy, man. These library sales get crazy. Like
people are aggressive.
Yeah, in New Jersey, like man, they were like knocking over textbooks, and like people like the adults just turned into kids, and I'm like, I was 23, 24 at the time, and I'm like, there's like 56-year-old women and men like pushing each other.
Oh,
and, like,
yeah, they're not playing.
Yeah. So,
but they were charging 10, 11, 12 bucks for a book, and I was shocked.
Okay.
Yeah, that blew my mind. If that was a normal thing.
And don't be afraid to pay $10 for a book if it makes you $50 and it sells good. Like don't. Like that's a big mistake booksellers make, because we're economical and we're frugal, we're cheap, you know, but don't be afraid to spend $10, $20, $30, $50 on a book. If you spend $50 on a book that makes you $150, buy it all day.
Yeah.
You know, I was at the library sale in New Jersey, and at the very end, this is what happens. Everyone leaves at the same time. What you should do is stick around. Scan all the non-barcode books, scan the children's section, and then find sets of books. So
children's section, really?
Yeah, children's section's good. Because a lot of people don't scan it. Like a lot of people are like, "Oh, this is worthless."
I've sold some pretty weird children's books, and I'm like, "That's worth $40."
Yeah, you'll scan a paper thin children's book, and it'll be worth $40.
It's just rare profit for some reason. Yeah.
So I found a set of books in the corner, and I did the manual search on Amazon. Found it was going for $2,000. Everybody else was leaving the library sale.
Is that the Jewish set you're talking about?
The Jewish set, yeah.
He loves talking about this Jewish set.
That's my biggest.
Are you even Jewish?
No, I'm not. You're Jewish though.
Jewish.
I probably sold it to.
That should have been my book.
I probably sold it to your synagogue or something. Somebody bought it at Amazon Prime. They needed it the next day.
I had to have it.
But yeah, I mean, like not waste your time, but wait when you're at library sales. Wait till the very end, and everyone's gonna leave at once. Don't be a sheep. Don't follow the herd. Stay behind and scan, all the leftover stuff. Do the manual lookups. There's so much money at library sales. You can make thousands of dollars profit.
And you can just go to normal libraries too. You don't even have to go to sales. Like where I live in my town, they have a library sale going on like all the time.
Yeah. So there's ongoing library sales, and then there's like big library sales that only happen like once a year or once every couple months. So, and also don't just go to library sales on booksalefinder.com. Library sales on booksalefinder.com are going to be very competitive. Call all your libraries up and make a point to go to the library sales that are not on booksalefinder.com, because those library sales are going to have less competition, and sometimes you'll be the only person in a library sale. Like you'll be the only scanner. So if you find a library sale that's not advertised on Book Sale Finder and you're the only person there, like don't be surprised if you leave with like 30 boxes of books.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Oh, I've done that at my local library. I did that
Yeah.
one time, and it was insane.
Yeah.
It's called a honey hole. You hit a jackpot. It's jackpot
Exactly.
city, but it's once in a while, and that's what makes this business fun.
Yeah.
You will strike out. You will have times you want to quit. There'll be times you want to give up. You'll have times where you're like, I don't know if this is for me.
Yep.
But it's those highs and it's those jackpots, you know.
Exactly.
So okay, cool. So we covered friends, family, sourcing from your house in the beginning, thrifting, library sales next door. And then this last one I want to share. This one's close to my heart because this is how I source most of my inventory now. Now, I do want to say this is a bit more advanced. It will require more capital, more skills, more training. What are your thoughts on what I'm going to share? And
Yeah. I mean, like, definitely, I would recommend make sure that you know how to flip an item. Like, prove to yourself that you kind of understand e-score, sales rank.
Have some sales already.
Yeah, profitability and stuff like that. You understand the Amazon fees, and then this is a great method.
So what I do, and some of you folks may already know if you've been following me for a while, I buy items off of eBay.com and I sell them on Amazon FBA. Now, I started with books. I don't do as many books now because there's so many other products. I flip DVDs, I flip electronics, I flip tools,
A
I
lot
flip
of stuff.
puzzles,
You're just showing me beforehand.
video games. I sold some engine turbine, or I don't even know what it was. We were looking for some wholesale suppliers afterwards too. Wholesale's away, but not in the beginning. So we buy everything from eBay.com. So there's a whole method that I teach, that I do. I actually have a free web class if folks are interested. I guess maybe you can put a link. We can put a link down below for folks. Go through that. It's a 90-minute training. It'll literally share some of the softwares I use. I have an advanced software that I use. I don't own it, but I have a whole method to the madness. So if you want to be able to source items like books, DVDs, board games, video games, all types of freaking items from home without leaving your house. If you want to just show up to your house, throw it in a box, ship it to FBA. You see it, man, in the garage. And we'll be showing it when I do my, we do our listing video with go.
We'll show them your profits
shipping.
too, so they know it's real. He's doing like 50K. He's doing 50K sales a month, but he's doing like 12 to 15K profit. So
so definitely check that out. But just know, if you're, I talk to a lot of folks who message me, and my mom she's had 2 surgeries on her knees. I have a lot of followers and fans and people who follow me.
She didn't use a stool?
No. There's already a stool man there. If she comes up with a stool, there's gonna be like a stool battle to the death. But you can do this from home. Like, I have people who follow me and they're like, Steve, I'm disabled. I have health conditions. I have issues.
Yep.
You don't have to go thrifting. Obviously, you're only gonna be able to source so much from your house. Library sales, it's a lot of energy and effort. And I personally don't like library sales.
They're stressful.
Gives me anxiety.
I'll tell you that they're stressful, but it's like what's the best way to explain? It's like a piñata of like books. Like, everyone's like hitting it, and then when the candy busts open, everyone's trying to grab. It's literally like that. There's probably a better analogy, like an Easter egg hunt or something.
Everyone's freaking.
Everyone's just
drugs.
grabbing it. Yeah, you see grown adults act like children.
It gives me anxiety too, going to the Goodwill outlets, the Goodwill bins.
Yeah, it's same
It's
exact.
the same thing.
Same
I call it
vibe.
like a bunch of animals in the jungle just fighting over, like, it's ridiculous.
You know what's so silly though? It's like if they just posted on Nextdoor, they would get better quality books, but like instead their mind's like, it's like a piranha. It's like, oh, the piranhas smell the other piranhas going after blood. So it's like, I gotta get to the library sale too. And it's like, dude, if you just breathe for a second, post on Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace, Nextdoor, you'll have an unlimited supply of books that are more profitable. So make sure to do the other stuff we said too. Like, don't just get caught up on library sales, and try all these techniques. When I used to go to the bookstore, I would scan a book, and I didn't know about eBay to Amazon, but I would see the book was going for really cheap on Amazon.com. If I could buy it in the bookstore for $6 and make a profit selling it for, I don't know, $30 on Amazon, I would see that somebody else was selling it for like $3 or $4 on Amazon, and I would buy it from the Amazon seller. This is kind of like a complicated technique. Joji talks more about this. You talk more about this, but I would buy it from the Amazon seller, ship it to my house. So I bought one at the bookstore, one from the Amazon seller, and I would sell both of them on Amazon, because some people just price their books far too cheap. And kind of like eBay to Amazon harps on that. Like, people are selling items way too cheap on eBay. You can buy those items and flip them on Amazon for massive profits.
And the crazy thing is, like, and you've sold books before on eBay, like, things just don't sell as well. Like, I'm not saying you can't make a ton of money. Like, I used to have a full-time business selling just clothing on eBay.
Yeah.
I did that. I was doing $6,000 to $8,000 a month. But things don't sell super well, and eBay sellers are like, a lot of them are suffering now with the algorithm and stuff. So if you make an offer, a best offer, negotiate in multiple quantities.
Let's help those eBay sellers out and buy some of their items and
honestly,
flip them for a profit on Amazon.
We purchased over 1,000 items last month from eBay, and I have to leave my freaking house.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's not for everyone. It takes more capital, more experience. But just know, if you're like, I don't want to be doing books because I'm going to be stuck at thrift stores and library sales my whole life, and maybe you got some bad knees or you had surgery or disabled, trust me, there's a lot more. Like, this is the reason we put out this book selling workshop, is it's the best way to get started.
Yeah.
And books is a stepping stone to DVDs and electronics. And next thing you know, you're doing wholesale. You could be creating your own products. So
retail arbitrage, online arbitrage.
it's crazy. So I think that's all we've got for the 5 tips. If you guys want to learn more about sourcing, if you want to learn more about leveling up, definitely check out Reselling Freedom. We'll put some links down below. Check out, our social media, our YouTube channel, our Facebook groups. We're here to help you and support you. But the next video, this is where it all comes together, okay? So in day number 5, do you want to tell them what we're going to be doing?
Yeah, we'll be going over how to get your books active on Amazon as quickly as possible, how to price your books for as much profit as possible, get the books out the door so they can start selling, so you can start getting money in your bank account.
Yeah, and what we're going to be sharing with you, some of you folks may have watched my older workshop that was shot in, I think, 2020 or so. I did things way slower back then.
Yep.
Way slower.
Way slower.
Not just because of GoToLister. Obviously,
Yeah.
that's helped a lot. I'm just being transparent.
Yep.
I had a crappy printer. I
Yep.
had a crappy system. It's just...
You've optimized your
I've
whole... You
optimized.
found the best
I've made mistakes.
printer.
I've made mistakes.
And we've all been through this. I've used the Dymo printers. I've used,
Dude, don't get me in a bad mood.
Yeah.
I know some people love Dymos. I want to freaking take a baseball bat to my Dymos.
Yeah, you should sell your Dymos on Amazon. They actually go for decent
They
profits.
do. Yeah. Those are actually a good eBay to Amazon flip, but
Yeah.
I won't say anything about that. But yeah, let's get ready to rock and roll. See you for day number 5. Much love. Talk to you soon.
Peace out, guys.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to day number
2, 4, 5.
Day number 5, third time's the charm, of the 5-day book selling workshop. It feels like it's only been 2 days, man, but we're flying. We're actually on day 5 right now. Day number 1, we built our foundation. We got everything all set up. Day 2, we walked around this beautiful garage. We went through all the tools, supplies, software. We gave you guys, a lot of information about what you can expect to be using. Day 3, we were hanging out inside the house. We were scanning, we were analyzing. We were talking about Scout IQ. We were talking about the buy box and sales rank and e-score. And I know you guys are just having so much fun talking about all these various terminologies, but it's part of the process. Day number 4, we went into thrifting and eBay to Amazon. We went into library sales, going around your house, right? You're getting pumped up, man.
I'm ready. It's kind of cold here too.
Yeah, it is cold. We got the air conditioner on 60. It's keeping us going alongside with the 10 cups of coffee.
Yeah. This is actually like my 7th cup, seriously.
Well, hey man, you got the Rake and Profit mug going on. And then today, day 5, this is where it all comes together, okay? We're literally gonna go through the entire process of, essentially we're gonna list all these books. So we're
okay, you got the books now. Now it's important to make them available for sale for the customer. If you just a lot of people, what they do is that they get hundreds and thousands. Some people get thousands of books and they don't even make them active.
money.
Let's get money in your bank account. Let's get these active. Let's make sure customers can actually purchase these, get these delivered. Hopefully no refunds occur, and then money lands in your bank. That's our goal at the end of the day.
Yeah, and to be perfectly transparent, these books came from thrift stores, garage sale. One was from a pallet that I purchased, and I think there might be a few OA, eBay to Amazon flips in here. So most of these are all profitable. I believe all of them are profitable. A couple of them might just be a few bucks because there is a few actually that were kind of lying around my house from back in the day. My wife loves rent houses. This is back when I was learning my real estate journey. But we're going to get all these listed up. Anything else we should say to kind of preface this video, Avery?
I think you should tell them about your wife.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to have a wife soon.
Oh, really?
Well, she might be watching the video.
Dude, you should propose right now. Tell her to watch. Hey babe, watch day 5 of my course and let me know what you think.
Exactly. You guys, we're giving you a lot of free information. Keep things quiet, all right? Keep it on the DL. So, yeah, let's, I think what we should do probably is go into the computer.
Yep.
Is there anything we need to, because we've already here's the thing, like we've already kind of like inspected them and we've looked for like if there's any issues, or we didn't really talk too much about that, but obviously you don't want to sell books that have like water damage or the spine's freaking destroyed.
Counterfeits,
Issues like that, right?
Yeah.
So we're already, I guess, supposing that you've inspected and you're ready.
We'll go over a little bit of inspection too, just to let them know, and just little things to look out for when listing books. But really, the biggest threat you have listing books are counterfeit books, books that are damaged. And most of you watching this probably won't have this issue, but I had this issue starting out where like I would be so excited about a profitable book, it'd be missing the cover, and I would send it in. And you probably shouldn't do that, because if you send in a book without a cover, you're gonna get negative feedback. So
how about, I want to play kind of like the student. I want to pretend like I've never done this, although, you know, I've got a bunch of boxes behind me getting ready to go out, but I'm going to play the student, and I want to play almost like, teach me how to do this. We've got all these books. I've scanned them. I know they're profitable, right? I've gone through the 4 days of the 5-day workshop, right? I like want to call it a boot camp because that's what it feels like. What do I do now? We've got all these books. How do I list these things? How do I get them for sale? Are we selling FBA? What the heck are we doing here?
Yep. So what I like to do is head on over to the computer and, you know, get your books ready. You know, if you want to be a pro, I like to stack them barcode up because we're going to be scanning all these barcodes. Make it easy on yourself. We're going to give you some pro tips to really optimize your workflow. So do you want me to walk through this, or do you want to show them how to set up a batch real quick?
All right, so I'm on my computer right now, Avery. Should I just go right into GoToLister, or do I have to go to Amazon Seller Central? Like, what do I do?
Yeah, so everyone watching the workshop, obviously, if you haven't set up a GoToLister account, go ahead now. You need to enter your credit card information, but it is a 14-day free trial, so you won't get charged if you decide to cancel before then. But go ahead and go over to Create Batch. And, you know, right now you can see all Steve's stats right now, like his cost of goods, what his projected net profit is, and he started using this when? In
like 3-4 months ago, at the time of this recording.
Yeah. So
you guys might be watching this in a year from now.
Yeah, this is good. I mean, good cost of goods, man. You have $140,000 worth of inventory listed. That's an estimated $250,000 payout to leave you with a net profit of $110,000. So
if I go to total sales right here, would this show me?
Yeah, so it's going to show you exactly, and click on total profit. I mean, total sales is showing you what the Amazon Seller app shows you, which is very cool. It tells you average sales price, stuff like that. But click on total profit. This is what Amazon Seller.
Right here?
Yeah, click on that. He's a little nervous. He doesn't want you guys to see his products.
Oh, man.
So once this loads, this is actually going to factor in all your buy costs. So because he used GoToLister, you can see $21,000 of inventory is sold for him over the last 30 days. Amazon charged him $10,000 in fees. That's a total of $46,000 in sales. That leaves him with $14,000 profit. He can actually see his profit on a daily basis if you want to hover over that. So that's a really cool thing about GoToLister is it helps with tax season. It gives you really cool reports. And we're listening to all of our users. You know, hit me up in the Facebook groups, message me at support@gotolister.com. Like, we are optimizing this for you guys. So this is only going to get better, but I really enjoy compulsively checking this 100 times a day because it tells me what I'm making versus the Amazon Seller app just tells me, you know, 1,000 in sales, but I don't know how much of that's profit. So
perfect.
If you want to go ahead and get that batch created, click on Create Batch.
And what is this going to do? What does creating a batch mean?
So this means you are ready to list items on Amazon. So this is called a batch, and we're going to create one shipment, which is going to be one box filled with books that we're going to send to Amazon. So we're sending these to Amazon, so you're going to want to select fulfillment type FBA.
Okay.
And batch name. I prefer to do my name - date. So that way I know I listed them and I know what date I listed it.
So, you know, let's do it. So we'll do name, we'll do Steve, and then you said dash
date.
So today, okay.
And that way you can just kind of remember, you know, it'll have the date by the batch anyway, but that's just like the batch. And even in Seller Central, it's going to display this way. So it's just a good format.
We're in the future right now, 2050.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, that's going to be a crazy year. Will Amazon even be around? Then we have smart pricing here. So this is very similar to Scout IQ, and we're the only software that does this. It allows you to price your books higher that sell faster. So if your books sell fast, we actually price them higher if there's opportunities to do so. So I do recommend definitely do smart pricing.
I love smart pricing. It just prices everything for me.
Yeah.
It's so easy.
Yeah.
Listed by, it's just me right now. So I'll put my name, shipping address. I'll put my address in here. All right. Make sure my editor doesn't blur this so everybody shows up to the house. Free books for everybody.
And then who labels. So Amazon has a rip-off program where they label products for you.
That's such a rip. Oh, it's a
30
scam.
cents plus.
What
I
a
think it's like
scam.
50 cents now, but it's above 30 cents. And so we're going to teach you guys how to label your own books. You'll save 30 cents per item. And for every 1,000 books you list, you're saving $300. So it pays for itself pretty quickly. So for the last option here, there's two options. You can either select, I want to provide box content, or I do not. Now Steve, I'm going to say, go ahead and click I want to provide box content. And I'll show you how to handle this at the end. This is a new feature we have, but this allows you to handle Amazon split shipments really well. And we're actually gonna be doing what's called the one box method. So we're gonna ship one box per batch. So we have one batch here. We're gonna fill one box of books up. This is the most efficient workflow that I've come up with. I didn't come up with it. My mentor, Caleb Roth, kind of popularized it, but it really allows you to have a clean workflow, send Amazon all the information they need. And if you try to list too many books at once, you know, it can get messy with having 5 different boxes. So we're gonna do one box at a time, keep it nice and clean. And you know, a box of books is anywhere from $100 to like $500 profit. So if you commit to sending 1 or 2 boxes a week, you can really get a couple $1,000s profit a month.
So hit create batch.
Create batch.
All right.
All right, now that we're inside the batch, you're gonna see these 5 different options here. It goes from new to acceptable. So N stands for new, LN stands for like new, VG stands for very good, G stands for good, A stands for acceptable. We put these right under the scan bar. That's where you'll be scanning in all your books. The reason why we do that is if you choose to change condition, you can easily toggle right there. Now, before we scan anything, let's make sure your batch is 100% set up. So quantity for books, you're gonna keep that at 1. If you happen to be listing other items and you have 10, 20, 30, you can change that and it'll automatically list 20 items at the same time. Then you're gonna enter the source. So you can see all Steve's sources here. Very simple. He either got it from a thrift store, eBay, or his mother.
She's so sweet. She always gives me books.
Nice.
I'm like, Mom, keep them for yourself.
So would you say the majority of these are thrift store?
Yeah, let's just put thrift so we don't have
Yeah.
to go back and forth with every one.
And I do recommend, you know, getting pretty granular with this. Like if you buy from Goodwill versus Salvation Army versus your local library versus, you know, so I recommend using as many sources as possible because at the end of the year, you'll be able to see what sources are your most profitable sources and you cannot manage what you do not measure. And so if you can really tell yourself, hey, I made 10 grand profit from this one library that you only spend a few hours at a week, source that library more. And if you didn't make that much profit from the Goodwill down the street and you spent hours there, maybe stop sourcing that Goodwill. So now that we have everything set up, we do need to add the condition description. Some people get really obsessed with this. There's no concrete, nobody's like made a complete study that shows whether or not this is a huge deal. But personally, I'm able to list books 10 times faster than all my competition because what I do is I just do a generic condition note like this. Good condition, fast shipping. This works for like new books, for acceptable books. It works for every book.
And just so
period.
you know, I have, it'll be free for
Cool.
obviously everybody watching, but condition notes for DVDs and books down below, 100% free.
Yeah.
So you guys could download those and
Yeah.
then you can upload them and save them.
And
so
who knows, maybe it helps out. Maybe it really does boost your sales.
Yeah.
But for this method I'm about to show you guys,
I'm the same way.
I'm going to show you the fastest method. And if you keep the condition note the same, then you're going to be able to just speed, baby. You can list really, really fast. So
Okay.
now we're set up to go. Auto print is automatically going to be on. This is going to allow us to print directly from our Rollo printer. If you need help with the Rollo setup, we're going to have a video below. I have a video that I could link to you.
Yeah.
If
We'll put it down below.
If you guys have any trouble with the Rollo at all, there's a step-by-step video below, but we'll go ahead and get all that set up for you.
Okay.
This video is assuming that you already set up your Rollo printer. You can go to settings and do all that. We got our labels here. Make sure to check out the resources tab.
The label holder, that's great too. I love to have this here. It's like
Yeah.
$20.
Yeah, definitely get the label holder, or you'll have to use like a toilet paper roll or something. And then, so we got this all set up. We're ready to rock and roll. And now what we're gonna do is start scanning in.
You could even pull your, you could pull the chair up next if you'd like. And
I might listen too fast. I don't even know if I have time to sit down.
Hey man, well, whatever you'd like to do. Let's start scanning some books in. So show us how it's done, man.
All right,
So
so
what,
go
I
ahead
just
and-
gotta click this.
Yeah, select good condition first. So my philosophy, personally, guys, is I list everything as good condition unless it's acceptable. If it's an ex-library book or if it's a really rough condition book, but I still think the customer won't complain, I will list it as A, acceptable. But for now, we're gonna list everything as good. we have friends. Lorenzo, he likes to list everything like new, and he thinks it boosts his sales. I have not seen any evidence for that. So what we do is we list everything as good, and that's really going to be the meat and potatoes of this. Is we're going to allow you to get through 100 books in an hour, whereas if you're really meticulous in everything, it's going to take you 2-3 hours to go through the same amount of books. So we're ready to scan now.
So you're just scanning the barcodes with this scan. It's like a $20 scanner too.
Yeah.
We didn't mention that, but if you
nice. We'll put a link
it.
below. Boom. And as you can see, sometimes Amazon takes a while to give a response. I actually made GoToLister because I hated that. I hated how long it took, and I hated waiting for this label. Before I get into the speed of GoToLister, remember, we briefly talked about this before. If I don't rip this label open. What you want to do is you want to 100% cover up this barcode here, just like that.
And you don't want to have a fold in the barcode. Sometimes there's like a fold because they're going to scan that. So you have to make sure it's scannable.
Yeah.
Yours is good. It's not folded, but I've seen my team do that before, and it's like, no,
Mm-hmm.
it has to be clean
Completely
on it.
flat, yeah, if it gets folded at all.
And if there's another barcode showing, what I do is I do this. I'll print one out like this.
Perfect, yeah.
And like, let's just pretend there was a second, I don't know if you can see me, Zach, but if there was a second one right here, I would just cover it up because I don't want Amazon. Some of them are some of the people there aren't the brightest. So.
Yeah, and then they'll scan it and they'll be like, we lost your book, we didn't know. It's because they scanned the wrong barcode. So this book is ready to go. But let me show you the speed. You guys saw how
Show the
slow.
speed, man.
You guys saw how slow that
the
was.
speed.
That wasn't GoToLister. That was Amazon. Amazon sometimes takes a while to create what's called your FN SKU. So I didn't program this software. Dom, big shout out to Dom for making this software. He programmed it so you can scan as fast as you want, and Amazon can take their sweet time, and it'll queue everything up
So
and
just
process
show
it
us.
one by
Scan
one.
them all. I want to see it.
No software is going to allow you to scan 4 in like, what was that, 2.5 seconds?
So what's happening? So this is...
So now everything's being queued and listed one by one. So you can see those 3 books
it's
were
pricing
listed.
each one too.
Yeah, it automatically prices. We price it the price that makes you the most profit. And so yeah, it just allows you to have a really quick
But look at this
workflow.
right here. I want to mention this because, obviously, I ship out 200 to 300 items a week. Sometimes you'll see the price coming in at $300, and the reason this is, it's like a, how do I say it? It's like a placeholder if there's no offers on the listing, so it'll do 300. So
Yeah.
what I'm gonna have to do is what I would do is I would click into the ASIN just like this, and I would go and I would analyze the item to see how much I'm gonna sell it for.
Check out this. I'm using Steve's pro tip. I'm covering up this barcode. Something else you can do if you don't want to waste labels is just get a Sharpie and draw a diagonal line through any existing barcodes, and that'll void the barcode.
So show everybody how you would price this item, because GoToLister didn't price this one because there was no offers on it. So walk me through what would you do right here?
So what I do is I usually look at Keepa, but before we get like too into the weeds with that, I just look at how many offers are there. It looks like there's only
no
one.
offers on it. That's why there's no used offers.
Oh, there's
on
no
it.
used offers.
That's why I
Okay.
was dropping down to Keepa.
Yeah, so Amazon's on this for $28. I would just go, Scout IQ goes 10% below Amazon. I would probably go 10%, so maybe like $26, or they're at 26 now, so I'd probably go 25, 24.
All right.
What about you?
Yeah, I like it. It's a fast seller too, I believe. Is it? Yeah, 4,000 rank.
25. Yeah, I mean, honestly, we probably could sell this for like 35. Play at your own risk, but you can actually sell used books for more than new. This book is selling thousands of times a week, so somebody's going to click, check out on the used book, but realistically, you probably want to price it like $25. And notice how tricky Amazon is. Why didn't Amazon tell us the price for this book? It's because they're on the listing. They want to make the profit. They hid their own price. Isn't that sneaky?
Yeah, that is
Amazon
very
Amazon
sneaky.
is very, very tricky with that. So we have 4 books here listed.
And look right here. You can see that we've had 5 items listed, 5 SKUs. We're paying on average $1. Some of these might be a little more, but we're just keeping it for the example at $1 each. And the profit after fees and everything is $94.77, which is really cool. If you did this on Amazon Seller Central, you'd have no idea.
Exactly,
So let's
yeah.
bang them through, man. Let's.
And it's tracking the source and the buy cost, so we don't overpay on taxes too, because we know exactly how much we paid.
What's that label for that's on there?
This one, what is this? You calling me out, man?
Yeah.
What book
You gotta
is
get your items stranded, man. If you're.
Associated Press.
Oh,
Did I
it's this
scan?
one right here, I
Okay,
think.
boom.
There you go.
All right, so back to the speed demon scanning. Here we go. 1, 2, 3.
And do you have to keep them in order to make
4.
sure like the
Yeah,
labels
you do.
are obviously?
So I just scanned 5. I went 1, 2, 3,
Look at
4,
this.
5. So now this is printing, so it's gonna do the first one, which is this one here. Yeah, Steve's not used
Look
to
at the profit going up.
You're not used to scanning this fast, are you? It's kind of stressing you out a little bit.
Since I do a lot of eBay to Amazon, we don't have
you do it one by one.
We don't do it like that. But
Yeah.
when I used to do books a lot more, like from thrift and stuff, if I get thrift books, then yeah.
Yeah. So this is actually the fastest flow. You do 5, you scan 5, you stack 5, you scan 5, you stack 5, you scan 5. If you stack 10, scan 10, it can get pretty complicated. You'll forget which ones you scan first. So that's why I like to do it that way. And then if you're doing eBay to Amazon, you're probably just going to scan one at a time like Steve does. Just get here. We'll go ahead and
We're
scan
at
these.
271 profit so far. Well, that's a great book, by the way, EOS, man. I'm trying to get you to read that book. What the heck
you
is
gotta,
EOS?
you gotta select the
Oh, I
scan
messed
box.
up. Beginner
Yeah,
mistake.
that'll happen to you guys a few times. Make sure the scan box is selected. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we'll go ahead and get those printed. And then for this one, while we're waiting on those, if you want to type in bigger, leaner, stronger, this barcode's covered up. We're just gonna go ahead and look for this title and make sure it matches.
So we'll go to list or find the book. Like it'll.
Yep.
Oh, there it is.
right there. See how there's a couple? I
Yeah.
always go with the lowest sales rank. So I usually go with the one that comes up first. And as you can see, we have these labels here. So I'm gonna go ahead
Nice, $5.
and label these.
So really what we're doing is we're scanning the items in. We have everything already set in terms of our template. It saves it for every continuous scan. Label prints out, and then you obviously want to, double check and make sure your prices, look good. Smart pricing is
Exactly.
good, but if you see anything at like 300, anything crazy, you could again always go through here and click into the ASIN, open up Keepa, double check, look at where the offers are for this item. So like I could see this item right here. The offers are starting at 53, but if I take a look at Prime, they're actually starting at 65, and then it jumps up to 72. So what are we pricing that item at? We're actually pricing that at 72.88. So I think we're going second or third in line, which is very smart for a book like this. That's a 13,000 rank.
Yep.
So very smart. Awesome. Maybe that's why it's called smart pricing, my friend.
Yes, sir. So if you guys, Zach, if you want to come here real quick or just show this, I like to stack, I can get away with stacking 6 or 7 books like this. Notice how all these barcodes are exposed. And so if you're doing this with a spouse or a partner, actually the quickest flow, I can list books faster per hour with 2 people than with 1. Like I actually, like if you look at how many books we list across time, it's actually faster for me to have 2, if that makes sense, per person. Like I'm a faster lister with somebody else than I am by myself. It sounds obvious, but it's because I don't have to move as much.
Yeah.
When I'm by myself, I have to do everything. So if you have a partner or a spouse, go ahead and list together. And I would have one person stack these books up like this, and then the other person, we need to go ahead and select that. Keep forgetting to do that. And then have the other person labeling the books. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, remember the first label is going to come out at the top. And this will wrap up our batch after this.
Yep, and then we'll just move on and put it in a box, wrapping it up and printing out the UPS label
Exactly.
on Amazon Seller
And
Central.
Amazon's definition of new is in its original packaging, so we could probably list that one as new. If you guys want to make a little bit extra profit, keep an eye out for shrink wrapped books.
And again, we're going to want to cover up that other barcode on that top one.
Exactly.
We don't want 2 of them being exposed. Look at this, we're at 581 profit so far. And this is what's possible. I mean, you're not going to go to the thrift store and find all these books all the time, but
I mean, we're talking this whole time, and we're still listing pretty quickly. What's it been, 15, 20 minutes?
Yeah.
And we're already done with
I mean, we could have done this in 5 minutes or less, but
Exactly.
obviously we're walking through each step of this process.
So now we have all these books ready to go. So now what we're going to do, if you want to, yeah, this is perfect. He's going through the batch. He's looking.
Yeah, I was double checking to make sure.
We're the only software that allows you to go back up to that purple.
Where?
Keep going up. You'll see purple. Keep going. Keep going. Right here. This purple outline here. We're the only software that says there are 0 offers on this listing. Consider pricing higher. So what I recommend doing in that case is, open it up, look at the Keepa. Looks like that's a weird book. Like it doesn't have a sales rank. So something's going on there.
but definitely check out any of these books that don't have offers. You can price those for a lot higher. So,
and you could take a look too. One quick tip: if there's no rank and you can't tell about the data, you can see if the review count is going up. If it is, it means there's probably sales for that item. But look at this thing, how it's really tanked off. There's some weird. Look at the sales rank has just like gone up and then
you know
it
what
disappeared.
happened? Amazon got off the listing, and they just said screw it. So maybe it's commonly counterfeit. Maybe something's going on here. But who knows if it still sells or not.
I would just leave it.
Yeah, so
what happens.
scroll down and see if there's any other weird price books. These 2 dots here, it'll turn red if it thinks the sales rank's a little bit too high. You can change these in your setting, but I recommend don't send in too many high ranked books. That's just letting us know, like,
Small percentage,
yeah, and it'll also turn red if the profit's low. So look for any red, look at the prices, make sure everything's good. Just do a double check before you send in. And again, I recommend checking out Steve's Keepa videos, Joji, my Keepa videos. Get a good understanding of Keepa, because this phase right here, right before you send the batch, you can really optimize your profits if you just price a little bit higher. And really, GoToLister, we have smart pricing, but at the end of the day, you make the best judgment. And what we're doing is we're trying to allow you to make better judgment based on, are there FBA offers? And so we try to bring these things to your attention. But at the end of the day, it's your responsibility, and no repricer is going to be perfect. We were talking about this a little bit before. Repricers are always going to make people angry because Amazon, as you guys could see, Amazon hid themselves on the listing. So Amazon's not always going to give you the data, but you can go in and dig around and find that out yourself. So if you want, go ahead and click on Send Batch, and that's going to give you a preview of the shipments. Now in this phase, what's happening is we're sending all this information to Amazon, and Amazon's going to tell us what warehouse to send this to. Hopefully this happens here. You see, everything's going to one warehouse. What might happen in this phase is there might be multiple destinations. Now we have a whole different flow for dealing with that. It's super easy to deal with.
We'll share the video below because we have a whole video on box content.
Exactly.
So we'll drop that down below.
Yeah, so this is called the one box method flow. Everyone in the community refers to this as the one box method. So as you can see, there's one shipment. We're gonna fit all these in one box. We actually cheated and we weighed these beforehand, so we knew that these are about 40 pounds worth. But if you're not, if you're just listing on the fly, what I recommend doing is investing in a scale like this, which Steve will link a scale below for you guys. Now what we can do is I actually build a box right here.
Show us.
And as I'm listing, I will fill it up. So pro tip, if you guys missed the tape in the other video, what we're gonna do here is Steve is going 3 across the top and 1 or 2 across the side. Oh, he's using the new pro technique.
Ain't getting any water in there.
This waterproofs it. So if you guys live on the East Coast, highly recommend you do this. And you cannot over tape. It's really good to tape as much as possible.
And I always like to tape up these as well.
Yeah, it's perfect.
And we're ready.
So I actually do this beforehand usually, but for the purpose of this video, we wanted to show you the books out in the open. But as I'm listing the books, I will actually put them in the box. And if you look here, you can see the box weighs 1 pound itself. And as I'm listing, I make a point to do the bigger books first. I will fill the box up like this.
And show them, how are you putting the books in? I know we mentioned it before, but you're putting the open part towards the middle,
yeah,
right?
You want the pages to go towards the middle, because if you put the pages the other way, your books will get damaged. So this is going to allow the books to stay in nice condition. And just realize, if you have really heavy books, these corners they're really digging in. So maybe consider heavy duty boxes. If you have, like this book right here, will 100% damage a box. Look at that. Hard corners,
sturdy, yeah.
Starts moving around. That's one of the problem books there. So we'll go ahead and fill this up. See how my box packing skills are after all these years. I use prep centers, and I have a warehouse that preps all the books for me now, but it's a good skill to have.
This one's gonna be a little tricky to put in there. Would you not polybag this, or you're not super concerned? Do you think it'll be all right, the spiral?
If you want to be safe, definitely polybag. You want to show them how to polybag real quick?
I mean, it's pretty straightforward. I mean, we don't have to for this video, but you just put it in. We showed it before. You just put it in, slap a freaking
I'm gonna risk it for the biscuit.
Yeah, we're gonna risk it.
There we go. And yeah, so we're gonna fill this up with, maybe I'm not doing the best job, but
we're getting there.
Tetris. Here we go. Zach, if you want to, people
they can't comment below. I was gonna say comment below and let me know what my skills are like. But see, I'm still putting the hardcover against the back, and all the pages are coming up right here. This is actually pretty good. Proud of myself. And we have these two.
You're doing it.
Tetris, rearrange these a little bit. Boom.
And here's the last couple.
All right.
Let me get some
Look at
void
that.
fill for us.
Right there. So now, this right here, Zach, is terrible news. See all this space in here? You're gonna lose almost all your books, I guarantee you, if you leave this much space. So what we're gonna do now is fill that space up. The test at the end of the day is to see, are any of the books moving around when you shake the box? Now, before you go up there, there's still space here.
You got some space in there?
That's tricky space.
I don't know.
I would actually get some paper. So, pro tip, use like old packages and stuff.
Yeah.
Do you have any packages around?
I think I have some. Yeah, I think I got some stuff over here I can grab.
You can even use cardboard. It's got some bubble wrap. This bubble wrap will do pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
So look at this. Beating Steve to it.
You beat me.
This is perfect right here. Getting that knife in there. And you don't want it to bulge too much. Bulge out like that, it's gonna, that's also a risk, but this is like perfect. Not too much tension, no space. Look at this. The books at the top are moving, but these books down here aren't. So we still have a little bit of work to do. So now what we're gonna do is 100% fill up this space up here.
We got some of this paper, man.
Boom. And you can get this at Home Depot. It's called painter's paper, and you can get a roll that'll last you like several months. So that's a pro tip.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That
go.
might be a little too much.
Boom. So this is perfect. Maybe a little bit right there. Guys, definitely don't sleep on this. It's really important to pack your boxes good.
All right, so we're good. Now, you got to get that tight. I got it. Yep. Get that in there.
Yeah.
Squeeze them.
Yeah, Landon taught me how to do this.
Squeeze those in. Oh, yeah.
Dude, Landon, he really taught us how to pack those boxes good. There we go, and then one across the top.
Yeah. I'm always paranoid. I always put a couple more. I like to keep it safe. Wrap it up. Right. Oh, yeah. Woo!
What's that come out to?
Man. 41 on the dot. So I would probably put it as like 43 or something. I always like to put a little bit of
100%, because you don't know how your scale is. Your scale's on the table right now. Like your scale could be like a little bit heavy or a little bit light. So now what we're gonna do, we're gonna click on accept shipments here. And this is going to take you to a page to box contents. So now we're gonna click on finish box content on go to lister. And since all these items fit in one box and there was no split shipments, we're gonna click add all to box one. If you do have split shipments, there's a completely different flow you can go through. Super easy, super efficient. The link to that video will be below. So if you are dealing with split shipments, use that flow. Now we're gonna click on send box content, and we're gonna open this up on Seller Central. So before we do that, we actually programmed this to where you can enter the box weight here.
43.
So 43 pounds.
16, 16, 12.
I always enter 16. I use 12 by 16 by 12, but same difference. So here we go. I don't think Amazon really cares too much about this, but the weight is super, super important. If you get this, if you underestimate this, Amazon's gonna screw you with fees. So now we're gonna click on finish in Seller Central. And when we get here, we're gonna find the name of the batch. Here it is, Steve, July 7th, blah, blah, blah. Click on work on shipment. Convert, send to Amazon, and then click on convert again.
Make sure to click convert, send to Amazon.
Yep.
They made this change a couple months back.
Yep.
People get confused by it.
Yep, so click convert twice. Now what you're gonna do, everything will populate here. Give this a few minutes. If you send it too early, the SKUs won't be ready. It takes 15 minutes for these to populate. So basically what's going on is GoToLister is sending the information to Amazon, and it takes a second for Amazon to get the SKUs from GoToLister. Pack individual units, go through the process. So you can go ahead and get all the way to confirm and continue, and then select today's date or tomorrow, whenever you plan on shipping.
Yeah, you want to pick the date that you're planning on shipping it all out.
Yep, so here we go. We'll do Thursday.
And we use a service called, at least I do, it's called Pirate Ship. So I'll put a video down below as well for how to use Pirate Ship, but it's $4 for all of your shipments to get picked up. You schedule it, they'll come to your doorstep. It's really, really great.
It's a good tip. Or if you want to do it for free, I know Steve doesn't do this, but if you call 1-800 the UPS number, set up an account with them, there's something called Smart Pickups, and they'll pick up for
Yeah, they
free.
always charge me 20 bucks. I stopped using it.
It's called Smart Pickups, man. You
Yeah,
gotta
no,
look
I
in-
did. It wasn't very smart.
$9.74 here, and then
Yeah, we have placement option on right now because we wanted everything to go one place. So that's the placement option. So just so everybody knows, if you don't want to do the box contents, once again, we'll link up down below. If you don't want everything split to different shipments, you are going to pay, I believe, 30 to 50 cents extra per item. So you can see that extra fee right there, the total placement fee.
in my opinion, that's super hefty. I recommend never using inventory placement, but Steve, you know, sometimes he'll use it because he gets a lot of split shipments.
Yeah.
So you can turn that on and off in your settings. It's under
fulfillment.
Anyway, you should not see a fee here. It should just be the shipping charge. So $9.74, accept charges and confirm shipping. This is going to get us a UPS label, and we'll put it on the box.
And what I'm going to do, I'm going to let Zach back up for a sec. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get prepared to swap out my labels right here. So Zach, if you want to show, I'm actually going to pull these labels out, and you see how this is kind of pressed in. We're going to open this up just like that, and get this set up. What we're going to do.
Do you have the Paradis labels?
These are just Rolo.
Paradis nuts in your mouth?
Dude. So I'm going to get that all set up. I don't know if Zach can see this or not, but I'm hoping in God he can.
Pro tip, you can just set those here. That's why it's flat. So you just keep them in there all the time.
Takes a little second for it to get configured.
Yeah, just leave them there.
Perfect.
So this label holder Steve has, he didn't even know it, but it's meant for both these flat labels and these labels here. So it can simultaneously hold both. So you can just, you can hold both of them, which is pretty, you know, nice.
Yeah, good.
So, so now what you're gonna do is click on print, and since we exchanged the labels, this is ready to rock and roll. So, rock and rollo. So what we're gonna do is click on Control P, print this out.
Come to me.
You wanna talk about these two different labels?
Yes, so these labels right here, one of them is gonna be for Amazon, the other one is going to be for UPS. So let me actually come over to the box. Now, when you're putting these labels on the box, Amazon doesn't like it if you put it on the top, because when they slice it to open it up, sometimes I think maybe they can get
They
damaged.
100% do. That's a great tip there.
So what we're gonna do, put it on its side, just like that. And what I typically do, just slap them over. It doesn't matter which side you do, just like that.
Yep.
Make sure it's stuck on real nice. This one's for UPS, ground, for UPS to scan in. And then this right here is for the Amazon Fulfillment Center.
Now, UPS might freak out about this label. Just tell them, don't worry about it. It's for the Amazon Fulfillment Center.
Really? They freak out?
They
sometimes?
freaked out on me so many times. They're like, we don't know what this is, blah, blah, blah.
Really?
It's happened to me at least a dozen times.
wow.
Traveling around the country. But just walk in confidently and say, this is my UPS label.
Yeah.
And then have your Amazon label right next to it.
And a quick tip, in the past, like I'm always paranoid, so I would like tape over the labels. Don't do it with the Rolo. The tape will actually pull the ink off of it and it'll disappear.
okay.
So be careful. If you get some good labels from UPS or Rolo, they should stick pretty well. So at this point, you're good to go. There's really nothing else. You can literally close off from that screen right now.
Yep.
Move on to your next batch. What I'll do sometimes is I'll create all my batches. And, oh, Zach, if you want to come over here, these are all the batches that I actually have ready to go out that I haven't completed yet. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are all boxes. This is over $3,000 in profit. And take a look right here, Avery. You can see Steve 5. So I name my shipment 38 pounds. Steve 4, 30 pounds. This one is Steve 1. This is an old label. So what I'll do is at the end, I'll print out all my labels and everything.
Yep.
Slap them, just, slap them on so I don't have to go back and forth, back and forth.
Slap them on there.
So that's pretty much the process.
Yeah.
I mean, schedule a pickup. You can do, you know, smart pickups with UPS. They kept charging me. If it's free for you, go for it.
Yeah,
I use pirate
UPS makes
ship,
everything
so
a little
easy.
bit of a hassle. You can get free labels from UPS, free pickups, but they make you work for it. They make sure that your business account's actually set up. They don't want it to make it too easy for you. So if you want to go through it, and if not, there's probably links to the label below or something too.
Yeah, so your next step right now is to make sure, before you move on, take action on all of this. Make sure your account's set up. Make sure you have all your tools. Go out scanning. Find some books around your house, thrift stores, libraries. Go through the process of your first shipment. Get all your tools ready and send out your first shipment. It's gonna be slow in the beginning. You're not gonna make a bunch of money. Amazon's gonna hold on to your money for a little bit, which is called the Amazon Reserve.
Yeah.
So you're gonna go through some hurdles. There's gonna be some challenges, but you have to think 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months down the road, you are literally gonna build a skill that will allow you to make money for years to come. As long as Amazon's
How much profit
around.
is this?
I don't know specifically, but I know there was like 3,000, probably like 500 to 1,000.
$500 profit right here.
Probably.
Just commit to 1 or 2 a week. Every week, just
That's
commit
it.
to getting 1 box
Even if
out.
it's $250 profit in each box, send out a couple a week, that's $1,000 a month. So it's not gonna happen overnight. It's, you know, it's a slow process in the beginning, but over time, you don't just sell books, you sell DVDs, you sell board games, video games, electronics,
Don't
puzzles.
tell them too much. Don't keep
Yeah.
going. Just slow down.
You know?
There's a lot of products you can sell.
There's a lot of opportunities. So we're gonna put some links down below for you guys to take your next step in this journey. Of course, get yourself, you know, a free 14-day trial. Check out Reselling Freedom if you want mentorship. We have live coaching calls, 2 to 4 coaching calls a week. We have hundreds of hours of training and programs and courses, literally, that will walk you through everything and support you on your journey. Check out our Instagram, YouTube, our free Facebook groups. We're here to serve you.
Be sure at the
He's
end.
excited, man.
Be sure to come share your profit with us. Where's the profit at? Click on share here, and it's gonna download this picture. Tag us on social media. Once you get this, post this on social media. It tells you exactly how much profit you have. Tag Steve Rakin, tag Avery Romer, and we'll definitely support you, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, wherever you are, hopefully YouTube as well. Tag us and we'll say congratulations.
Absolutely. So with that being said, definitely stay posted for some more emails from us. We'll probably send you maybe some more training on DVDs and different things and keep you guys moving in the right direction. Tag us, let us know your success stories. And with that being said, what do you got to say?
RakinProfit.com.
Peace.
Peace.